The hits just keep on coming. The hits just keep on coming. Nico Collins obviously out a minimum of 4 weeks. We covered that on an additional live stream. Nabers is still not practicing. That's a big concern right now. Davante Adams maybe not getting traded. He probably will, but there's a lot of weird, slowdown buzz going on right now. And talk from Pierce today saying he had a conversation with them. I'll break down all of that. Olave, some good news maybe. It is Spencer Rattler season, which we've been waiting for a long time. We're a big fan of the Spencer Rattler community here. And he gets to go in there and had some great things to say about Olave. So hopefully Olave gets a jump start or a revival, if you will, walking into the remaining weeks. The Fantasy Football Show, Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, every single Monday through Friday. Show begins right now. File on in.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
From the FantasyFootballShow.com news desk, here is your breaking news.
Lots of news. Michael Pittman is probably going to go on IR, which means Downs to the moon, 80 Mitchell, maybe to the moon. 80 Mitchell's a guy we've loved on this channel from the moment he was drafted by the Colts, and it's kind of been a slow start for him, but that happens with rookie wide receivers. Something to keep in mind every single year, because we get so hyped up about rookies, and then we see guys like Nabers and guys like BT and MHJ do well, and you can kind of get into a rhythm of thinking that all rookie wide receivers will thrive from the jump, but sometimes they just take time. This Nabers stuff is a concern. Let's start with that. Giants head coach Brian Daboll said Malik Nabers' concussion is doing better. Better? I don't want to hear he's doing better. I want to hear he's over it. There's concern when you go into a fencing position, and this is to say that there's a little bit of concern about Achane missing more than 1 week, but he has a bye week, so that's very, very good. But whenever a player goes into the fencing position and their arms lock up, and like one arm stays up and they're down and they're locked, their body's locked, that means there's some major brain trauma. Concussions are actually brain damage. That's what a concussion is. It's brain damage. It's not just some small minor head injury. Your brain has been damaged, trauma. That's why recidivism is very high for concussion people walking into their next concussion. There's a big recidivism rate. There's a big reoccurrence rate. Every concussion you get, you're more likely to get the next concussion. And so there's a lot of concern about whether Nabers is going to miss yet another contest. And hearing things like he's doing better instead of, yeah, he's fine, he'll be out there, he's good to go, that's concerning, because we're now here on Wednesday. We're sitting here staring Thursday in the face. Friday's here. Friday tells us pretty much everything we need to know if he's not out there practicing. But there is a possibility he passes protocol right up until the 11th hour. So we'll have to play this by ear. It does make Malik Nabers an interesting trade for candidate. I don't trade him away because of this. He's too electric. He's too good. I'm not selling him at a discount. I suppose the right buy or sell offer might be able to entice me to move him, but it's certainly not something that I'm going to go looking for. I'm not trading away Malik Nabers on any level. Yes, Derek, we already mentioned Michael Pittman. We'll be hitting that in a second. Just hang tight. Malik Nabers, I would buy him right now. I would buy him. If his owner is freaking out about this, I would buy him. What would I buy him for? I don't know. I'm not giving up an elite top 5 wide receiver, but am I trying to package 2 players for the one Malik Nabers heading to my squad? Yes, I would. 100%. 100% I would go get Malik Nabers using 2 pieces. Smitty, give me an example. How about we talk about a Kareem Hunt and a wide receiver that's popping off for Malik Nabers? Smitty, no one's trading Malik Nabers. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. If you want evidence of me getting punched in the face from both sides, Smitty, no one's trading Josh Allen. Smitty, Josh Allen's not going to be good this year. Smitty, why on earth would anybody trade Josh Allen? Hey, Smitty, no, Josh Allen has no weapons. Of course he's going to suck the rest of the way. All things come to an end. All good things come to an end. Just read read the comments in my Josh Allen video. It's literally people acting like I'm a moron on both sides. It's absolutely wild. You will scratch your head. Go watch my Jordan Mason video. Trade Jordan Mason if it's appropriate, if you get a sell high value, because he can absolutely still do well. You can't sell Jordan Mason. Oh, look what I got for Jordan Mason, Smitty. Over and over and over. Don't tell me you can't trade for Malik Nabers on the low. I don't want to hear it. Let's see here. BT, yeah, we'll talk about BT in a minute. So Nabers, anyway, I love Nabers. I'm buying low, but this is concerning. We'll have to play it by ear. There's a good chance he doesn't play this week. There's a real good chance he could pass the protocol later in the week, but we're gonna buy low. When he's Adams healthy, this coming from head coach Antonio Pierce. When this thing is having a tough time expanding here. I'm sorry about that. There we go. When Adams is healthy, he's going to play. We'll play him, is what Pierce said. We talked recently and had a good conversation. He's ready to play football. Head coach Antonio Pierce said on Adams. This is wild because everything we're being told is Adams is taking his last snap. The one thing I will say is Adams comes out of the gate a lot and says, hey guys, you can listen to what people have to say about me, or you can hear what I have to say about myself. And this might be right in those lines that he's willing to stay, he's willing to play, he doesn't mind being an LV, and everybody else is talking for him. I'm not saying he's not getting traded, but there certainly has been a slowdown and a lot of buzz relating to a slowdown walking out of this Robert Saleh firing in New York, that the Jets were honing in on a trade, going to bring in Davante Adams. They shake things up, they fire Robert Saleh, and now we hear all this buzz of things are slowing down. Hard to know when a trade will happen. Remember that teams save nearly $900+ million per week to wait on trading for Adams. Keep in mind that no team, this even came from Bill Belichick, no team is going to give up a second rounder and take on his contract. So if any team is going to take on his contract, they're going to want to give up a third rounder or later, or a conditional pick potentially. And if they're going to give up something along the lines of a second rounder, then the team, the Raiders, would have to eat a big portion of Davante Adams' contract, which we believe, according to even Bill Belichick, is the more likely scenario. A lot of teams, a lot of coaches, former coaches say that they'd easily and gladly eat a bunch of contract to up the draft capital to get that second rounder. So we're kind of almost waiting to see if maybe this thing gets done in another week from now, when he's another week healthy, he's ready to come in and contribute. Because if the hamstring is real, and it's sounding more and more like it could be, and remember, he's 77 years old, there's a possibility that teams are like, look, he's not even healthy. Why would we do this? And I can envision right now a trade happening and him not being able to play and going, what a disaster. You give up a third or a second round pick and he can't even play. So we can't pretend we know exactly what's going on with the hamstring. Does sound like it is real. And it does sound like the teams, especially even the Jets and everybody that wants to get in on this, they're a little hesitant to say it's 100% slam dunk worth a second rounder or even a third rounder if he's banged up and he's older. And eating that much, that salary is huge. They got to figure out a way to get LV to take on some of that salary. And every week it's $900,000 cheaper. And every week it's that much easier to do for both parties, especially if the Raiders are eating some of the salary. It cost them about $12 million. Last week it was 13 point something to take on Adams for a team that was trading for him. And now it's 12 million because, like I said, it's 900,000 and some change every single week that goes by. So next week, it will be around 11 mil to bring in Davante Adams. And I think that's when we start seeing a whole lot of movement and chatter. Could it happen before this week's game? Certainly could. But it sounds like it's a little bit more unlikely to happen this week versus next week. My man, this is a quote from Rattler when talked about Olave. Can you talk about Olave? He said this. He said this, ladies and gentlemen. Man, dude's different. I make it a key point. When he's in, get him the ball. It's that simple. Rattler on Chris Olave. Chris Olave's been underutilized. There's no doubt this is a top 10 talent wide receiver in the National Football League. It's very easy to write and discard players, write them off, discard them. We saw the same thing happening with Tank Dell over and over and over. Now everybody's excited about Tank Dell. Some would say created by situation and not really talent. This is a lucky situation that Dell gets to now get injected into the whatever. We'll see what happens. We'll see what talent really does when it's on the field and it gets the opportunity. It's even more of an acknowledgement that the situation can drag down the talent. Dell's situation has been a little complex, but Dell's about to explode. And I believe that even when you get Collins back, it's going to carry over. Olave's a talent, a top 10, top 12, at least top 12, but probably top 7 to 12 talent in terms of wide receiver skill set, yet he has no ability to deliver upon that expectation. His output doesn't nearly match his talent level. And now we've got a quarterback that I believe is going to shake things up, probably laser lock on Olave. Olave's going to be a focal point, according to Rattler, who says, man, dude's different. I make it a key point when he's in, get him the ball. It's that simple. They're reiterating it, reiterating his key point again. I love that. I love that. And Rattler's exciting. He's exciting. If he's available in Superflex, he shouldn't be, because I've been telling you to pick him up all offseason. There was a time about a few weeks ago where we had a discussion about Rattler. We had a discussion about Winston. That time's coming. I'm not saying Winston's a great quarterback, but at some point Deshaun Watson's going to either get hurt or lose his job. I kind of sense, because this is the way these things happen, there's unrest. No one knows what to do. He gets banged up. He'll never come back in. Deshaun Watson is the worst trade in the NFL history. If you combine his contract, the entire transaction is the worst transaction in NFL history. The worst trade combined with a $230 million guaranteed salary, which shook up the QB market for years. This is the Browns are the worst organization when it comes to making a quarterback decision. Obviously, they have no clue what they're doing. And they're married to this contract to the point where it's really hard for the brass upstairs to give the command downstairs, and they're clearly handcuffed to Deshaun Watson in that staff, in that coaching staff situation. This is not something that the team is allowing them to maneuver around. Malik Nabers talked about that. Olave possibly skyrocketing in value. Would I go after him? It depends. We've got, we talked about this earlier, so everybody already knows already on this piece of news, but I wanted to discuss it one more time just in case anybody didn't watch the previous live stream. But Nico Collins is out for a minimum of 4 games. He's on IR. Horrible news. This is the receiving yardage leader in the National Football League. He's on IR. That means Tank Dell's going to the moon. That means Dalton Schultz gets a little more volume and looks. And honestly, Stroud becomes probably, I wouldn't say a questionable starter, but he becomes a little bit more of a concern for people that keep throwing him in with a secondary option that's near as good, you know, especially if you have a Love or someone like that. I will say I think this might get him back on track to a degree, because it's going to force them to do things differently. What's happening now isn't exactly working. I mean, it's working, but they're struggling. I think this could be one of those blessing in disguises where you break your right arm, you're forced to use your left arm, and then when your right arm's healthy, when Nico Collins is back, I think Stroud is maneuvering around. I keep using that word today, maneuvering. He is navigating the offense better, the playbook better, his mindset better. And I truly think that this could be a blessing in disguise where Nico and Stroud get to reestablish the relationship, the rapport, the connection, get that connectivity between the two firing on all cylinders. And then when Nico comes back, he's not discarded. He's not demoted. He's not getting less work. He's still going to be a monster, but Stroud hasn't been connecting with Nico. It's been a big disconnect. So this could be one of those things where it's a blessing in disguise at the end of the day. Does it make Stroud questionable for 4 weeks? Depends on your situation, but I'm still believing in Stroud. I still think he's absolutely phenomenal, and he'll figure it out and get things done. Here, as we talked about earlier, we got Pittman, who is out for probably what looks like to be 4 weeks. The official going to IR announcement hasn't happened, but usually when these things are floated, 99.9% of the time, or shall we say 95% of the time, the IR is actually, acted upon. The IR transition into that decision. That decision ends up getting made at some point. It's talked about. It's floated. It's usually never wrong. The chatter, the buzz around is he going to IR? It's never really jumping the gun, and be like, that actually wasn't. Watch this one do that, but it probably is happening. Michael Pittman dealing with the nagging back injury multiple weeks, and that's going to have this team saying, let's just sit him 4 and get him fully healthy and right. We don't want him coming out like Nico did. You have an injury, Nico plays through it, and now Nico's out for maybe even more than 4 weeks. And I don't want people to think that Nico's for sure out 4 weeks, and they're looking at this thing going, let's measure it against A.J. Brown's, let's measure it against other players. It's not as simple as that. There's grades of severity. There's re-injuring a situation like Nico did. Nico had a hamstring injury that was lingering. He played through it. He kept kind of, I think, aggravating it each week, and then boom, it came full circle. And now you have Nico Collins maybe in a worse position in terms of sitting out 4 games and trying to make it just the 4 games than had he sat at the beginning and rested at the 4 games and came back completely healthy. So hard to know. I don't want people to speculate and think Nico's only out 4 games. He might be out longer. It just depends on that severity of that injury. There are different grades to every injury. There's even a severity level within the severity level. So if you have a grade 1, your grade 1 might be almost a grade 2, or it could be just below an actual grade 1, but it's being called a grade 1. Remember, Jordan Love's MCL was a between grade 1 and between grade 2, initially thought to be grade 2. It's all very, very specific to that individual, and so there's no way to know. And same thing with this back injury. Back injuries are not something that is a blanket. You can, translate it from this player to this player. The fact that he's going on IR for 4 games because of the back injury has me concerned that the back injury is that bad. We'll find out. It could also be that it's just lingering to such a degree, that they want to get it all taken care of and
motion detected at the
and
front
healed
door.
up. Let's see here. We've got Dennis Allen announced that Spencer Rattler is a starter for Sunday's game versus the Bucs. We just talked about that. That's fantastic news. We've got this Nico Collins news I already talked about. Davante Adams. This is that piece I was speaking about earlier, where Schefter reports that the Raiders trade talks between the Jets and Saints for Davante Adams has slowed down. That was yesterday, and then we had the news today from head coach Pierce saying that when he's ready to play, he's going to play. They had a good conversation, and that he's currently a Raider. Is he going to be traded? He's currently a Raider. Is he ever going to play again for the Raiders? He's currently a Raider. That's what Pierce kept repeating during his press conference. So the fact that he said he had a conversation with them makes me feel like there's not as bad a blood between Pierce and Adams as people are making it out to be, and people do oftentimes speak for Davante Adams, which very much frustrates him, and he oftentimes talks about that, saying, you want to know something, ask me. Don't listen to the chatter of what people think I'm thinking or what they think I want to say. So that's all the news as of right now, ladies and gentlemen. Tank Dell season. Jordan Schultz goes up in value. A.D. Mitchell goes up in value. Josh Downs goes up in value. AR5 is practicing. We don't know what that situation is. There's still a possibility that they want to get him back out there ASAP, but my guess is he sits another week. And then they'll play it by ear depending on how Flacco does, of course. Super chats, let's get to them, and then we'll answer some phone calls. We got James with the super chat. 10-man PPR have Love, Connor, K9, Jacobs, AJB, Chase, Goddard, Reed, Tyreek, Benson. Any moves that got offered? Nico and Brees for Reed and K9. That's so tough, bro. 4 games. I lean toward Reed and K9. As much as I want to value Brees this high, K9 is still a force, bro. It's a tough call. Let's say you were 5-0. I think I would lean toward waiting on Nico. But if you've got 3 wins, 2 wins, not even 4, maybe 4.
Motion detected at the front door.
Ziggy, show me the front door. I would strongly. Okay. Who the hell is this? Who's at the front door? What's this guy doing? What's he doing? He got a name tag on. These people get really tricky these days. Coming to the front door. Let's see if Miss Smitty knows better than to open that door. This guy looks shady. He looks shady, not making eye contact. Look at him. Look at him. Smitty's got the compound with cameras all over. I don't mess around over here. I love knowing what's going on around the compound. Around Casa de Smitty. Miss Smitty knows better. Ziggy off. She ain't answering that door. Not to mention, he ain't getting in anyway. 10-man PPR, I have Love, Connor. I'd probably say I like this squad. Chase, AJB, Tyreek, Reed. You got a good squad here. What I would try and do is upgrade Connor using Reed. Upgrade Jacobs using Reed, or Jacobs and Connor together for Brees Hall, etc. James, try and get a Brees. Try and get a. Here's the buy low RBs for the week. I think grabbing one of these RBs would be fantastic. I think Hall first and foremost. Of course, I would try and get a Gibbs. That's going to be really hard. Kamara's even a good buy low. Achane, I still buy Achane. He's on a bye. He might not even miss another game. With the Nabers concussion, with the fencing involved, where his arms were locked, and him missing more than the one game, does have me concerned that maybe Achane has something similar because there was some fencing in his concussion as well. But I still think those are all moves I would make with that team. The team's very good. You don't need to make a move, so make sure it's the right move or no move at all. Trade offer got sent to me. Mooney, Gibbs, Hill for Nabers, Scary Terry, and Jacobs. I would rather have Gibbs and Hill, bro, by quite a bit, mainly because Nabers is out for one more game, maybe. And I love Hill long term, and I love Gibbs right now and long term. So I'm probably going to say I like the Gibbs side, but it's a tough call. I'm not saying it isn't close, and if Nabers were playing this week for sure, we might have to revisit that. So if that news changes, how much would you pay for Dell and Dynasty? Look, Benji, now's not the time to buy him. Probably you should have bought him before this week. Right now, I guess I'd give up. I mean, bro, I'd give up multiple second rounders. I don't know about a first because I don't think that's the market for it. I'd give up Deontay Johnson in a second. I'd give up Deontay Johnson type players. I'd give up, even a Kareem Hunt to somebody that wanted to win now because he doesn't have long-term value. A DeAndre Swift for Dell because I think his shelf life is short, as examples. But it's going to be hard to buy him today. Smitty, I have Jettas on a buy. Trade Godwin for AJB and Nico for Reed. Godwin for AJB I like. He's bye week free. Nico for Reed is tough. I probably would say I want to do that now, but I'm going to tell you in 4 weeks from now, I'm going to regret doing it. So it's kind of one of those catch-22s, bro. You're getting production now. If you need the wins now, it makes sense. But if you can hold off, if you got supplemental players you can throw in and out that are kind of around Reed, then I don't know that I'm making the move and I'm waiting on Nico. He's a top 5 wide receiver. But Reed's top 10, 12-ish. I mean, he really is. So I'm okay with this if you need to do it. So you've got Downs and Wicks on my bench. Downs might be pretty serviceable right now. So Nico and Downs versus starting only Reed and putting Downs on the bench. That's your dilemma. Chat, would you rather wait on Collins and start Downs, or would you rather trade Collins for Reed and put Downs on the bench? Can we get a vote on that one? And running backs, Connor, am I nuts? You're not nuts for doing the first one, and you're not nuts for doing the second one, but I let the chat guide you because the chat makes some good decisions. Let's give him our vote. $9.99 hauler from Thomas, 12-team PPR, AR5 and Cousins, wide receiver Chase, Waddle, London, likely Cousins, AR5, Gibbs. I think this is Kamara. This Alanara. Alanara to the moon. I think this is Kamara. I like your squad. Gibbs and Alanara. Likely Alan Cade. I think is Kincaid. You got an obsession with Allen. The Allen spelled L-I-N and the Allen spelled A-L-N. I like both Allens. I keep them. I don't sell them. I'd probably say you stand down on this team. There's not a lot to move around unless you're trading pieces that I really like. Maybe Waddle with Alanara to upgrade into a Kyron or a Brees, or something like that. And maybe I would use Waddle and potentially Deontay to try and get Tyreek Hill or something, Thomas. Alanara's to the moon. Get your Alanara shares before they're too late. Who's this Alanara character? Kupp and Chase Brown for Kenneth Walker. No. Look, Kupp when he's back is better than Kenneth Walker. And he's 1 week away going on a bye week. And Chase Brown's on the rise. I love Walker. I do. He's a top 6 to 10 running back. But the problem is he can float in that 10 territory too, Also, I love Walker, though. I'm buying Walker low. He's got listen to the words coming out of my mouth. We're going to come in here and celebrate it when he's popping off because I'm telling you, he's a top 5 to 10 running back. There is some, we got to hope that he gets the usage. That's all he needs. Also, I'm 5-0 in a 10-man league. Much thanks. Thank you, Skynet. Appreciate you. Sam, 0.5 PPR. Would you trade Gibbs and Ayuk for Nabers? I would rather have Gibbs and Ayuk, bro. Nabers is maybe missing one more game, and I take Gibbs over Nabers anyway. So you're giving me a free Ayuk. That's the easiest question I've been asked all day, and that's coming from somebody that really loves Nabers. The value of Nabers is fantastic. $20 hauler, can you help me with a trade package? Acquire Mahomes plus Bigsby. Mahomes owner has Hurts. Current roster, Fields, AR5. So he doesn't want a QB. You could try throwing him Fields back to dilute the side that you're sending back a little bit to lessen the blow from the other pieces here. But I think with HN and Mason, you're kind of stuck at RB. You don't have a lot of flexibility. If you're trading for a running back, you got to get Bigsby, right? So, yeah. So if we do, let's say Mason, and I would say Scary Terry for Mahomes and Bigsby and something. But honestly, Mason and Scary Terry are probably too much to send. I don't think Bigsby's secure enough yet. If Bigsby and ETN came together, I might be more apt to do that trade. So it makes it tough. I almost say you just send Mason alone for Bigsby and Mahomes, and that's that. I don't think there's another move really here that I would recommend. I don't think I'd just throw Terry in. And you could send Scary Terry and maybe Fields and potentially another player like, I don't know. There's no other player like Kincaid or something, and then just go rogue at tight end and find another tight end on waivers. But I don't know that I'm sending Mason and Scary Terry. I think I'd send Mason. That's it. I don't think there's a move to make there. The only other thing you could do is swap quarterbacks, Fields and Scary Terry for Mahomes, and not get Mason involved and not get Bigsby involved. That's probably what I would advise with that team. Offer on the table, Pitts for Bucky. I'd rather have Kyle Pitts right now, but Bucky could gain some value and momentum. I'm going to be very excited if he does because we've been hoping for that. But I don't think right now he holds the value yet. 12-team tight end premium, Hubbard and Dell for Debo. I'd rather have Hubbard and Dell right now. I like Debo a lot, bro, but Hubbard has some tremendous value right now. I think it could change, but right now for the next 3-4 weeks, it's not going to. Trade Debo, Jamo, Najee, get Devontae Smith and James Conner. I'd rather have Debo and Jamo than Devontae Smith and Conner, especially when you have Najee, who you could try and trade to somebody else. But yeah, that side is close enough to argue. $5 hauler, 2 questions. 1, PPR. Redraft Mason for Hall. Of course, look, this is what it's so funny in the chat of my trade Mason video. I clearly tell people at the beginning, the middle, and the end, don't trade Mason unless you're getting top dollar and you can get out of the Jordan Mason game safely. Otherwise, you hold because it's tremendous value. And little chirpers in the comments are like, Smitty, can't believe you're telling people to trade Mason. Are you not watching the video? Because you just comment on the video, but you don't watch. And on top of that, it's like I say, go get Hall. You may have to give up a little more. You may not. And people go, in the comments, you can't trade Mason for Hall, Smitty. I see it every hour. Once an hour, somebody acquires Breece Hall for Jordan Mason because of my video. They DM me. They comment on Instagram. They send me DMs. They send me emails. They send me ICQ messages, Snapchats. Everything, telegrams, handwritten letters, everything that you could think of. Street corner whistles. When I'm doing my 12,000 steps, I got Jordan Mason. I turned him into Breece Hall, Smitty to the moon. I'm hearing it everywhere. And here you are, not you, but doubting Donnie saying it can't be done. Look. And so that G-Dog, that should answer your question. Of course you take Breece Hall. It's wild that people think that it can't happen, and it's wild that people even ask me, should they do it? Should I take Breece Hall? Of course you should take Breece Hall. The Dynasty Superflex, PPR, 2026 first rounder for Mason and 2025 early mid-second. Guys, 0-5. So you're trading, it seems like you're trading away Mason for a 2026 first. I would take the first rounder. I don't think Mason has long-term value. Could he? Sure. Would I count on it? Absolutely not. I would not. I don't think it's wise to expect that out of Jordan Mason. Traded Bijan Coleman for Kyron. Smash. Smitty, you can't get Kyron right now. Evans and Kincaid for BT and Laporta. I think it's very even. I'd rather have Evans by a hair over BT. But BT's getting really close to that level, and you could argue it if you wanted to. Kincaid and Laporta, I'd rather have Laporta by a hair, so it's almost even Steven. I would say lean with your gut, Cam, and if the chat gives you any sort of indication as to what they would do, that could be helpful if the chat wants to weigh in. Smitty to the moon, appreciate you. 12 team PPR. Breece, Jacobs, AJB, St. Brown, McBride, Lamar, Reed. Should I make any moves? I would probably say with this squad, I'm standing down for the most part, unless I'm able to trade like Deontay and Kirk or Juju or all three of them, whatever, with a Jacobs to upgrade into Bijan, to upgrade into a slightly better RB, Kamara, JT injured even, I consider that. Or you turn Reed into, Tyreek Hill or MHJ. So, Brian, that's a solid squad, though. And that's the only thing I'm really contemplating doing with that team, Brian. Trade Dobbins. Sounds good to me already. For Chubb. No. I don't know, maybe. Look, both of them are kind of injury prone. One's coming up. One's stagnant. I think Dobbins could get back into a rhythm. Remember how wrong I was about Dobbins after week 1, 2, 3, and now no one's even... they barely, should I drop Dobbins? That's how quickly people react to weeks 1, week 2, week 3, even 5 weeks, with Dell, or even 5 weeks with Mahomes, that he's droppable. And it's laughable that people react that quickly to 5 games, let alone 2 or 3 games. But I would say I probably lean toward Dobbins for now, but a week from now, I could really see myself saying Chubb or still saying neither. Other running backs are Breece, Mason, Ramondre, Braylon Allen. I would probably be tempted to try and go get, like I've said, Breece Hall, Achane, Bijan using Mason or holding Mason. Again, Mason's only a trade if you can get something solid done along those lines. Ayuk and T for Jonathan Taylor. I'd probably lean toward Ayuk and T right now just because I think you can get maybe better than that, and JT's banged up. Trade Gibbs for Achane. I like trading for JT in the right context. Trade Gibbs for Achane and Chase Brown. I have Mason and Kyron. I would rather have Gibbs. I don't know. Mason and Kyron's so good, you don't need to make this trade. And Gibbs is safer than Achane. As much as I love Achane. $2 hauler from my boy Alex, who says just was offered Kamara for my Bijan. I would rather have Kamara right now. It's sad to say, but he's just safer and he's playing great. Should I send Chubb and Downs for Diggs? I would probably say give me Diggs. Wide receivers, BT, Higgins, yeah. I would do that trade if it was me. Sherman, 12 team, 0.5, 4-1. Kyler, Barkley, Mason, Hunt. Chase Brown, Amon-Ra, St. Brown, Devontae Smith, Godwin, Kupp. Love that you've got St. Brown and Kupp and D. Smith. I'm probably trading Godwin on the high, keeping McBride, Godwin and Brooks for a running back, Godwin and Brooks for Tyreek Hill. Godwin and Brooks for Breece, obviously. Bijan type of player. You got Barkley and Mason, so you're good there. You got Hunt. You could even do Hunt and maybe Godwin to go get a Breece or something like that. Yeah, and even Cooper Kupp is interesting to go get if you can start all those wide receivers. You trade Godwin and let's call it Hunt, or Godwin and Brooks, or Godwin and Benson, or Godwin and Chase Brown potentially for a running back. I like MHJ also, but I think Hill is a fantastic addition to your team specifically. Drop Braylon Allen for Tank Dell. I probably would right now, yeah, but I'd try and keep both of them if I could. Downs, Tolbert, Spears at the flex. Probably going Downs, man. Downs is going to get a lot of good work now that Pittman's out for probably at least 4 games. Hey, Smitty, 14-team league, half PPR, 3 wide receivers, any moves? Probably get a better quarterback than Trevor Lawrence, my guy. Achane, but he can do okay. I don't like panic completely, but I'm interested in Mahomes right now, especially on the bye and struggling. Maybe you can trade Trevor Lawrence, and you got Achane, K9, and Bigsby. I'd be okay trading Swift to get Mahomes, or trading Bigsby to get Mahomes from Trevor Lawrence. That's what I'm focusing on. Love the wide receivers. I don't touch the wide receiver room. Honestly, I take the gamble with K9 and Achane. Your only hole in an area of focus is trying to get Mahomes. Maybe even a Dak. You know, a Kyler. Who was your other QB? Maybe see if AR5 is available very cheaply, or on waivers. Not talking about even moving a Puka or a Swift or a Bigsby for. I'm just merely asking, is he like available? Is he dropped? Just because if he comes back, that could be something that maybe helps you, maybe doesn't. I got offered 2 trades, same person. First one is James Cook and Christian Kirk for Devontae Smith and Stevenson. I'd rather have Devontae Smith and Stevenson by a hair. I do like James Cook a lot, or I can do Smith and Stevenson for Achane. I would do that one. It's a risk. Make sure you can weather through the storm as you await the bye week, and he could miss one more game, but I'm going to take the gamble on Achane. Garrett Wilson, Worthy, Javonte. Understand that Achane is a risk. You know, you got to be okay with that and not be upset later at me. If you want the safe route, then don't do it, but it's got higher upside. Garrett Wilson, Worthy, Javonte for AJB and Addison. I'd rather have Garrett Wilson. I'd rather have AJB and Addison. And then I try and move Addison. If I can couple Addison and somebody for like a Dell or a Worthy, then it makes it so much better at the end of the day. But AJ Brown's bye week free, bro. That's huge. So I'm going to say give me that. Eric, appreciate you traded Mason and MHJ for Olave and Breece Hall. Mason and MHJ for Olave, Breece Hall. I like that, especially after the Rattler comment where he says that he's going to get him the ball. I love that. Wicks and Bigsby Wicks and Bigsby or Bigsby and Juju for Olave. I would say either one. I'd probably keep Wicks over Juju if it was me, but I definitely would take Olave in that situation. But if you needed a running back, I could understand somebody wanting Bigsby, and I had Smitty approve it. Lucas, trade ETN for Javonte? Absolutely not. I think ETN still got some hidden value. I do. Just traded Juju for Davante Adams. Love that. That's a fantastic move. I do like ETN a little bit, guys. I still do. Look, Bigsby gets hurt. He's back to being a top 10 running back. On top of his coach said he's not losing his job. There's still some momentum here to buy ETN at cellar dweller pricing or to hold him. What caliber player can ETN and Olave get? MHJ, St. Brown, Nabers. If he misses another game, someone could freak out. You never know till you try. Tyreek Hill, Nostradamus. Hubbard and Dell for Debo. I'd rather have Hubbard and Dell. Trade Walker and Sharps or Bijan and Ferguson. Walker and Sharps for Bijan. Give me... If you need a tight end badly overcome, I would maybe lean toward Bijan, but if not, then I want the Walker. I want the cuffed combo, I guess. It's tough, though. I mean, I love Bijan still, but I just don't know. I don't know. If you need a tight end, it makes it easier to say, then let's risk it with Bijan. Sure. I love Uncle Smitty. Been watching a long time. You know ball. Thank you, Superhero. Appreciate your super chat. Just traded DK and Shaheed for JJ. Worthy or nah. Just traded DK and Shaheed for JJ. Of course. worth or nah, I think is what you're saying. I thought you said worthy. But yes, JJ over that combo for sure. Mixin value up. My Hunt. Mixin value, I don't know, bro. My Hunt Jacobs for Achane Olave. I'd take Achane Olave by a landslide. Trade Goff, Bucky, and Mason for Josh Allen and Breece. I'd take Josh Allen and Breece in a millisecond. Like, that's not even close. That's probably the worst lopsided trade of the day. We've got more than a couple $20 haulers. We got one from Scott. Scott, appreciate your $20 hauler. You go straight to the front of the line. Rock Out with a $20 hauler. Rock Out goes straight to the front of the line. Cody, $20 hauler goes straight to the front of the line. Appreciate you, broskies, dropping your 20 wads on screen. Rock Out, we'll start with you. Got a trade offer for my Walker and Evans for his, I think you mean Chase. But I already got Higgins. Yeah, okay. So Walker, my Walker and Evans for his Chase. But you already have Higgins. Don't worry about Higgins. What are we doing here? Could you get something else back? Because quite honestly, this is a haul that he's getting. Evans and Walker. Chat, can we get a vote on this one? Would you rather have Evans and Walker or Jamar Chase? And he's got Higgins. I think if you get something thrown in at all, perfect would have been Dell when he was down and out. Worthy when he was down and out. I don't know if there's another ETN would be perfect. If you got an ETN or something like that, I think I would smash the button and take Chase and that extra player. But it's a lot to give. Evans and Walker's a lot to give. Evans and Walker, Evans and Walker, Evans and Walker, Chase, Evans and Walker, Chase. Evans and Walker is getting the slight advantage. I think he just needs something else added to it. It's a little too much, Rock Out, but I like where your mind's at. You're almost there. Half PPR, 12-man, 2 and 3. Daniels, Fields, Gibbs, Taylor, Mason, Brooks, Nabers, Evans, good team. Any moves? I love Nabers and Evans. I know Nabers is kind of hurting you right now, but I wouldn't trade him. Gibbs and JT and Mason's fantastic. Do I try and use Mason and Brooks to get Hall? Yes. Do I try and use Mason to get Tyreek? Yes. Those moves, Scott, would help you, I think, eliminate any risk that could potentially be there in regards to Mason and his maybe losing some value, maybe not. That's why you're selling high or not at all. Drop Coleman for Downs, probably right now, Wild Bill. It makes the most sense. It's logical, and the chat would almost 90% agree. I can say that right now. Let's see here. We got drop Roshan or Madison for Braylon Allen. I would say probably drop Madison for Braylon Allen for the long-term value. And on that note, let me play a little Kyron for you.
He's 7 feet tall, and he knows how to handle a ball. He's Kyron, he can take frowns and turn them upside down with his touchdowns.
Drop Roshan or Madison. I'm probably dropping Madison for Braylon. Braylon's got that win a league upside, bro. Just that win a league upside that could, if he gets in there, it's like top 6 to 10 running back numbers. Smitty, pick 2. Tucker Kraft or Brock Bowers or Jake Ferguson. Pick 2. Give me Fergie and Bowers, but I love Kraft. I mean, I love that situation. Admittedly, I loved Musgrave, but really attached to the Green Bay Packer tight end position that's going to produce. But I'd take Fergie, who's healthy and getting tons of targets if I had to choose. Hall, Braylon Allen, and Evans for DJ Moore, Godwin, and JT. Woo! So really Hall and Evans for Godwin, JT, DJ Moore. Because JT's banged up, bro, I'm going to go Hall and Evans, but it's damn close, Cam. And if, let's say, JT comes back and is fully healthy, it does kind of change the game a little bit. Recovery, hey, Smitty might have to take a lap, but Kyler or Cousins this week, you're not taking a lap on that. It's a tough call, bro. You've got matchups are important. Green Bay, it could be both good and bad for Kyler. It could be a shootout. Cousins, I go back and forth on whether I start him over players bigger than Kyler. So, I think this is not a crazy move. I think Cousins is probably maybe the safer play. Kyler's the higher risk, higher reward. I tend to go with the high risk, high reward personally, and the momentum the Cardinals have. But Atlanta's got good momentum too. Chat, vote. Are we going Kirk Cousins, or Kyler? Remember, Kyler was, I think, a top 5 QB last week, so he still was very, very good. I know Cousins had his day, but I don't think you're taking a lap on that question. It's a very close call. Let's let the chat vote on that one. Kyler or Cousins, which one are we going with this week? Jordan Mason and Monty for Alvin Kamara. I think that's too much. Absolutely too much. Bro, Mason and Kamara is close enough 1-for-1. You're going to throw in an extra player? Hell no. Traded Moss and Kelsey and Eckler for Kenneth Walker and Sharps. I'm fine with that. If you needed a running back and you weren't too worried about the tight end position, Kelsey goes on a bye, probably rests up, but he did get kind of banged up. Drop a Dunze to grab A.D. Mitchell. I'm going to say no on that one. I'm going to say a Dunze is going to be something special at the end of the year, and I don't want to get rid of that opportunity and upside. Offer BT Chase for my AJB and Achan. I'd rather have BT and Chase over AJB. Oh, it's Dynasty. BTJ and Chase over AJB and A. Yeah, definitely if it's Dynasty, BTJ and Chase. Jamar Chase, easily. Not even a hesitation in my mind when you start talking Dynasty, bro. It's not even close. Superhero with a $4.99 hauler, 3-2 JD5 JT owner. I traded Dell and Burrow to the worst team for McLaurin and Sermon. Horrible trade, Hero. You're my boy. You're my boy. You ask me for my honesty, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. But Dell and Burrow to the worst team for McLaurin and Sermon. Dell and McLaurin are like even Steven right now. So you just gave him Burrow. I don't like that. I don't think there's much security in that because Dell was security, and Sermon, no, I don't like that trade at all. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. I appreciate you, though. Vino, $10 hauler. Smitty, how do you feel about this offer? Trade Christian Watson, Braylon Allen, and Michael Pittman, and Chase Brown, and Kyle Pitts. What a blockbuster. And get Brock Bowers, Davante Adams, and Nick Chubb. So Kyle Pitts and Chase Brown, essentially, and some fodder for Bowers and Adams. Chase Brown and Pitts for Adams and Bowers. Give me Adams and Bowers, and it's close. Pretty even. Adams and Bowers for me. On the spec that Adams gets into a spot. I don't know. Tough to say. It's higher risk. If you want safety, don't take the Adams side. If you want high risk, high reward, but you're okay with risk, then go Adams. Trade Jalen Hurts for Nabers and PPR. Plus, Bowers goes up in value when Adams leaves. Trade Jalen Hurts for Nabers and PPR. Superflex. And Superflex, no, hell no. Trevor Lawrence, look, he's good, but I just trade Trevor Lawrence for like Adele or Worthy or another player with Lawrence to get Tyreek Hill on the cheap, or Bijan on the cheap, a player and Trevor Lawrence to get Bijan. In Superflex, Jalen Hurts is a top 5 overall pick, bro. And Nabers is not even a first rounder in Superflex. It's not even close. And Trevor Lawrence Hurts is bye week free, bro. Big mistake. Traded away Adams and Ladd today for BT. I don't like that trade. I love that trade.
You've just been Smitty approved.
100% like the BT side of that. Wanted to do something while DA still had value. Yeah, bro. I mean, give me BT all day long. I'm not worried about Ladd. Nice job, bro. Nice job. The real G10-man full PPR. Josh Allen, Lamb, Davante Smith, Achane, Kyren, Ingram, Del Swift, Charbonnet. Records 3-2. Keep, team, or trade. What do you think? I like the squad. Josh Allen, Lamb, and Davante Smith bye week free. Achane, Kyren going on a bye is a very good team. The only thing I'm trying to do is move Swift and maybe, I don't think there's much more to move on the bench. Swift and maybe Ingram for a slight tight end upgrade. Swift and maybe Davante Smith for a Tyreek Hill or slight wide receiver upgrade, and that's the only thing this team needs. I don't touch a single thing outside of that because those players I like, I don't want you getting rid of them. Best Life, appreciate you. I have Godwin and Davante Smith, St. Brown. Would you trade for CD, Cup, ETN, or would offer St. Brown, Davante Smith, Metcalf? This is a tough thing to read, bro. I don't know if you wrote it. I don't know what you're saying. I have Godwin, Davante Smith, St. Brown. Would you? It's just a big run-on sentence. I don't know where we're starting. Would you trade CD, Cup, ETN, and or would offer St. Brown, Davante Smith, Metcalf for CD, Cup, Walker? I don't know what you're saying here. St. Brown, would you trade CD, Cup? Would you trade for CD, Cup, ETN, and or would offer St. Brown and Davante Smith and Metcalf for CD, Cup, Walker? I think you're trying to say, would I trade St. Brown and Davante Smith and Metcalf for any one of these, above and below? So CD, Cup, and ETN for St. Brown, DK, and Davante Smith. I'd rather have man, that's close. I mean, when Cup comes back, it's legit. And if ETN gets his job back, it's what the side wins. If ETN doesn't get his job back, CD and Cup versus the trio, I'd probably rather have the trio. And then if I'm getting rid of Walker on top of instead of ETN, then I definitely don't like it. I think that's what we're saying there, bro. But that's a big run-on sentence. You guys got to be a little more careful with the verbiage, or it just ends up ruining the question, and then you don't get the answer you want. Got offered Achane, Tyreek. Thank you for the super chat, though. Got offered Achane, Tyreek, and Zeke for my worthy Javonte and Jonathan Brooks. I'm going to go ahead and take the Tyreek Hill, Achane, and Zeke for 100, Bob. That's about as easy as it gets. Cap. Let's see here. 14-team league PPR. I got AR5, MHJ, Godwin, Mason, Taylor, Pitts, JMO on the bench, Eckler, Leggett. Any moves to make? Godwin. I mean, I'm trying to get rid of Mason for Breece Hall, right? I'm trying to get rid of Mason for potentially Bijan and something if you can get something. Mason for like Mason for like James Cook and like an MHJ, and then you send him back a Singletary or a Leggett or Eckler, or Mason and JMO for like let's say you get Achane and a wide receiver that's better than JMO, you know what I mean? Like Mason for Achane, you're trying to like pretend that's a downgrade, right? and then you're trading J-Mo to go get a wide receiver that I like a ton. Going after that. Also, Godwin up to a wide receiver that I love could also work. Godwin for Tyreek Hill straight up could also work, Cap. $10 hauler. Have Murray, Gibbs, Singletary, Braylon Allen, Brooks, Javonte, Bigsby, London Reed, Chase, Jamar Chase, Shakir. Am I good thinking about dropping Javonte for Blake Corum? I don't mind that. Javonte doesn't have any long-term value. London Reed, Jamar Chase. I like the receivers a ton. Gibbs, Murray, I love that. I'm trying to trade Brooks and maybe Reed. Brooks and London for one Breece Hall. Brooks and Reed, Brooks and London for one RB. Brooks and Reed for Achane or Bijan, and maybe you're getting another piece involved in this. I like that idea a lot for that team. That's where I take that. Monty plus J-Mo for Gibbs. I'd take Gibbs personally, but I could understand both sides. Pickens and Najee for Hubbard. I'd probably rather have Hubbard right now, even with the potential expiration date. Mason, Waddle for Mahomes and Dell. I'd rather have Mahomes and Dell, given your Fields is going to be potentially maybe replaced at some point. But it's close, bro. I mean, that's, a lot of people hate Mahomes right now, but I don't. I have Neighbors and Ramondre for Bijan and Garrett Wilson. I'd rather have Bijan and Garrett Wilson. But, there's pros and cons to that one. That one's close enough. We got a $20 super chat from Rock Out again. Absolute monster. Says, yeah, my backs are giving up. K9 and Evans would be JT and Sermon. What? Yeah, my backs are giving up. K9 and Evans would be JT and Sermon. Stevenson, Dowdle, and Chase owner only got injured Aaron Jones, so I don't think I can work, and no good backs besides that. I think I understand what you're saying. This is kind of a run on here, Rock Out, but I would say and Sermon, Stevenson, Dowdle got injured Aaron Jones. I don't think I can work. And no good backs besides that. I Rock Out. I don't know what you're really saying here. It's kind of a run-on sentence, but I'd say I do that trade for Jamar Chase, but I'm just wanting something small, but I love the trade. K9 and Evans is tough to give up, but Jamar Chase is a league winner. I'm not saying Evans isn't a league winner. I'm not saying K9 isn't a league winner to a degree, but they're not the same type of league winner that Jamar Chase is. If you get something small at all, or you're able to upgrade potentially one of these players slightly, then I would probably do that. What do we got? What do we got here? Yeah, we're in the middle of a show. Is there a way to come back later? You want to fight with me? Let's pass on that right now. Let's not fight right now. All right. But hey, can you close that door? Thank you. She picked the lock. Okay. Yeah. Rock Out. When you call in, we'll discuss this further, Rock Out. But I want you to get something small, bro. She wants to fight with me. She hears me yelling all the time, I think.
Motion detected at the front door.
Let's see here. Smitty just got Bijan for Addison, Juju, Hunt, and Bigsby. That's a smash. I take that gamble, Joel, all day long. Why not? That's a good gamble to make. Rank Garrett Wilson, Pickens, Dell, Cup, Downs, Puka, Juju. I'm going to say Cup, Garrett Wilson, Dell, Puka, Downs, or Pickens, Downs, or Downs, Pickens. That's close. And Juju in that order. Ozzy, appreciate your super chat. All right, let me get back to a couple of these. I was just going to hammer out real quick. Thoughts on DeAndre Hopkins. If he got traded, I'd be interested. In could he? Maybe, but I'm not that interested. In KC would be interesting. Or Downs or Tolbert. We're going to go Downs, man, with the the increase in volume that's headed his direction. And Mason and Monty for Gibbs. I'd rather have Gibbs if I could get a little something. Just a little something extra, bro. And not PPR, trade DK plus Higgins for Jamar Chase. I'd take Jamar Chase. But it's close. You know, try and get something else. But I'd do it. Would you trade Pollard and Shaheed for Olave? In a heartbeat, I would. In a heartbeat, I would make that trade. This one right here is from Shanavelli, I guess is how you say the name. A full PPR, 10-man, 2 flex. Kyler, Jacobs, Bijan. Okay. Trade is here. Would you trade Jacobs, Monty, and BT for Brees? I think that's too much. But I would maybe do BT and like Monty or BT and Jacobs for Brees. But even that's like going to be argued by people. So the trio, no way. No way. It's too much. You're giving up way. Unless your depth is so crazy that you don't use them and you're like in an 8-man league and I don't have that context, then I would do it. If you're in an 8-man or 10-man league, I do it. Because the waiver wire's, great and plentiful and your team's stacked. If your team is stacked and I don't have that context, do the trade. Any moves I should make? I'd probably say your bench is Goff, Eckler, Braylon Allen, JJ, Ridley, Pacheco, Nico on IR. So you got JJ and Nico. You got McBride. You've got Debo. You've got Bowers. You've got CJ Stroud. You've got Brees Hall, Connor. I would try and move Connor and maybe Zay Flowers for a slight running back upgrade and just go through the gauntlet of players. Try and get every single player you see on screen. I definitely would take every single one of these guys right here for your what do we say? Connor and Zay. Yeah, 100%. And then I'd even take, honestly, I'd figure out my RB situation. If I had to, I would trade that same package for Hill and just figure out another trade. But I'm crazy. A lot of people don't do moves they can't see the next step. I will. I'll take a move that puts me in the dark and I'll make another move. Hey, Smitty, not to be that guy, but you forgot to read my $20 hauler. I really appreciate some help. You're the best. Cody says, Cody, let's see if you're right. I don't know if I read Cody's super chat. Let's see. Cody. Did I skip this one? How would I skip this one, Cody? Let's see. Kyler Murray, Darnold, James Cook, Achane, Chubb, Brooks, Bigsby, AJ Brown, Garrett Wilson, Flowers, BT, Worthy, Atwell. I don't think I saw this one. I don't know why it didn't come through. Cody, I appreciate you letting me know. I was able to grab it, but it didn't alert me that it was there, so I apologize. Cody to the moon. Cody's right. I'll take a lap. Cody to Mars. I'm sorry you had to even get my attention to find this one. I don't know why. Once in a while. QB, Murray, Darnold, Cook, Achane. I like the team. I like James Cook a lot. I'm trading Brooks and Cook to get maybe a Brees, to get a slight upgrade from Cook. So Brooks and Cook, you could say, Gibbs, Hall. Who's your other running back? So Gibbs, Hall. I'd love either one of those options. I'd even throw in a Flowers, no doubt about it. Flowers and Brooks, Flowers and okay. So here, ideas for selling Wilson or anyone else. I need some help. So if you're trying to get rid of Wilson for let's say Tyreek Hill or MHJ, Wilson and Flowers, definitely do that. Brooks and Wilson for Tyreek Hill, I do that. Brooks and Flowers for MHJ. Brooks and Flowers for a gauntlet of players, bro. I think Hill comes to mind, though, as the best option. And he's the cheapest, and he's on a bye. So not only is he disappointing people and been nowhere near what they've wanted, but he's also on a bye. So he's extremely vulnerable in a trade, or fantasy owners are vulnerable to give him up. Nico would be interesting here for you. AJ Brown for that same package. Tyreek Hill, MHJ, and that's when I think I draw the line there. But as far as upgrading Cook, using Cook and Flowers, or Cook and Brooks and Flowers, I'm trying to get potentially Gibbs, Brees Hall, and that's kind of where I think it stops for you, unless you're trying to give up Cook for JT and you give up Flowers and you wait on him. I think Nico's interesting using Flowers and even Brooks for Nico. I think I'd do that, Cody, if I'm you. That's a move that I think will be crazy for you if you could weather through it. And you're 2 and 3, But you still got a lot of depth and a lot of players to kind of help you through that. But I definitely would do that. Appreciate you, bro. Sorry about the wait on that super chat. Tyreek and Dobbins for Gibbs. I'd take Gibbs. Arguable, but I'd take Gibbs. 0.5, my BT Brooks for Connor, Lazard, and Bigsby. I'd take BT and Brooks, and I wouldn't even hesitate. That side's better. PPR pick 2 based on matchups, Monty, Walker, Mason. I'm probably going to go Monty, Walker, Mason. Monty's got a good matchup. I think he gets volume. Walker, I think Walker's going to have a good day. It's possible that, he gets stopped, but he also possibly has a big day. I mean, the Niners are kind of in shambles right now. I would say Mason's also hard to sit. If I'm picking 2, probably going to be Monty and Mason, but I would very strongly consider trading one of those guys and trying to get like a Tyreek Hill or something if you're forced to pick every single week. The depth is nice, though. Just traded Swift for DK. You crush them DK by a country mile. Cousins or Fields, I still have Hurts. I'm going to go Cousins overall on the year and then probably this week anyway. Mason, Monty, Waddle for Gibbs and Olave. I take Gibbs and Olave by a little bit. It's tough. Mason, Monty, Waddle. But Waddle's like almost worthless right now. Will that change? Maybe. And then that's when I could see myself like regretting making that trade. But I also right now know I wouldn't. Trade JK for Olave. Also have Herbert, Rattleman, or May for Superflex. I'll probably go Rattler if I was a little bit feeling frisky. But the JK for Olave, I take Olave in a heartbeat, bro. That's easy call. Would you rather have Kupp, Walker, or Lamb? Let's see. Would I rather have Kupp, Walker, Lamb, or Metcalf, St. Brown, Devontae Smith? Walker, Lamb, and Kupp. Give me Walker, Lamb, and Kupp by, I don't want to say quite a bit, but like it feels that way. My gut reaction is like, yeah. Trade Tank, Dell for Bigsby, and Bigsby for BT. I'd rather have BT if I have the depth to make that move. If it hurts me depth-wise, like I'm taking starters out of my lineup, I'd probably think about it a lot harder. But if you have the depth, I'd do it. Thoughts on Juju? Top 20 wide receiver every week? No. I think he's a crafty flex play, especially with injuries and bye weeks and such. It makes him like he's a wide receiver 4, 5, 6, and he can become your wide receiver 3 in dire straits. You know what I mean? But top 20 wide receiver, I don't know that I'd put him there. Mason and T for Tyreek. I'd rather have Tyreek, but if I could get something, because Mason and Tyreek are pretty damn even. You should be doing that 1-for-1. So T, I want to get something. So I'm going to say it's a little too much, but I do quietly like Tyreek more. So that's me telling you I like the idea. So too much for now. Can I afford it? I think Kyron, Monty, CD, MHJ. Too much value given up 5-0. I would say you're just giving up a touch too much. I want it to be a little bit simplified, or just make it a 2-for-2. Neighbors for Gibbs. I'd rather have Gibbs right now with the potential additional missed game for Neighbors. Maybe, I don't know. It's tough to say. Neighbors for Bijan. No, I'd rather have Neighbors and have Smith, Debo, Dell. Yeah, I'd rather have Gibbs, but that's me. It's pretty close. I think Neighbors is fantastic, but I'd rather have Neighbors over Bijan. Yes, even with the missed game. Can I get Hill or Kyron? My team is Hurts, K9, Achan, AJB. Yeah, probably say like Garrett. Do you mean Garrett Wilson instead of G. Smith? Like, what are we doing there? Geno Smith, maybe? CJ Stroud. That might be Geno Smith. Geno Smith, CJ Stroud, Braylon Allen, TJ Hawkinson, Bigsby. I would say Tyreek Hill using Bigsby and maybe Tyreek Hill. Damn, bro. Because if you get rid of like K9, you have only Achan and Bigsby. So K9 for Kyron, and then you give up a. God, I don't know. I don't know that I want to give up an MHJ. MHJ and K9 for Kyron's a little much. AJB, no way. Nabers, no way. Stroud, you got to keep Stroud. Bigsby. So really all you have is Bigsby and Achane for Kyren, or Bigsby and K9 for Kyren. And I'd do that, but I'm not doing MHJ. And as for Tyreek Hill, I'd give up K9 for Tyreek Hill. I'd maybe give up Achane for Tyreek Hill, but you're kind of in a bind and you're relying on Bigsby. Try and get ETN if you do that. The Tyreek Hill move's not crazy for one of those bigger name players, but it's very, very tough. Stash Coleman or Watson. I have Wicks. I probably say Coleman. I don't trust Watson right now. He's always getting hurt. Eagles defense or Bucks defense. Probably say this week, the Saints. I mean, look, Rattler could do well or do bad. Eagles D is tough to bank on, but I also really like him as a sleeper surprise D down the stretch now that the offense is back and ready. I'm gonna go Philly against the Browns. I think Watson's a mess. Blunt, appreciate you. Smitty, I'm 1-4. Bijan, I trade my Swift and Brooks and Reed and Jordan Love for Skywalker, Mike Evans, and Baker. So Walker and Evans and Baker, and you trade Swift, Brooks, Reed, and Love. I would do that. Brooks, Reed, Swift, and Love. For Skywalker, Mike Evans, and Baker. I'd take Skywalker, Mike Evans, and Baker, I think. Yeah. It's close. Arguable. I think the chat could be divided. I could see it, but I don't know. Smitty got Goddard for Singletary. Love Goddard. Top 5 tight end right now. Tracy and Vikings defense. So I like Goddard. I think Tracy's upside's nice, but I'm fine with that. Set running back, needed a tight end, also have the Bears D. I think that's good, bro. I think you did solid with that. Smitty, to go rate my team, CMC, Bijan, Tyreek Hill, MHJ, Jacobs, Lamar, Flowers, Higgins, Kirk, Mason, Hawkinson. I like your team. I'm trying to maybe trade. You have Mason and CMC. I'm trying to maybe trade that for Bijan. I'd give up Flowers to get it done. I'd give up Higgins if I could get something back to get it done. Yeah, that's the move, bro. Or if you're keeping that running back stable, because you do have CMC, it's pretty safe. Jacobs and Flowers for Breece Hall. Jacobs and Flowers for Gibbs. Jacobs and Flowers for Kyren. Obviously, those are not going to be easy to do, but you never know. People are weird. Jacobs and Flowers for maybe even JT injured. Jacobs and Flowers for Lamb. Jacobs and Flowers for Neighbors, who might be out another week. AJ Brown. MHJ, Tyreek Hill. And if you got Tyreek Hill, you got MHJ. I'm listing off names sometimes. I can't remember everyone's team when I'm doing that. So if I ever list guys that you already have, like, it helps other people to hear the names too. Got offered BT and DK and Dowdle for Chase. I would rather have BT and DK. Yeah, because you're saying you have Reed and JT and that's it. The rest of are bad running back. Like, you need something, bro. So BT and DK at least gives you 2 players. I don't love trading Jamar Chase. I almost would rather have somebody better than Dowdle if you could find a way to ask for that. And you could always say, hey, what do you have instead of Dowdle? You know what I mean? Because I don't like Dowdle. Dowdle's okay, but I don't like him. 2 and 3. Don't throw him back. Like, take him, but 2 and 3. Mayfield, Evans, London, Hall, Hubbard, Kraft. Thank you for the $20 holler, Mac. Ford. Okay, so Kincaid, Ford, JK, Dobbins, Bigsby. Mahomes owner just dropped him, so I'm dropping Ford for him to get him. But I have to wait 3 days. Any other moves? How does Mahomes get dropped? How does Patrick Mahomes get dropped? I'm just absolutely baffled. It's just ridiculous. Any other moves to make? I'd probably say, your team's really good. J.K. Dobbins or Bigsby is a trade piece, right? So maybe you're trading Evans or London or Hubbard with one of those players to try and just slightly upgrade him. An example, Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill while he's still very, very cheap. Deebo Samuel, Cooper Kupp while they're still very, very cheap. Like a J.K. and a Like Hubbard's very, very nice, a nice trade piece. Hubbard and Kraft and JK. Hubbard and let's see, JK and I'd only trade London if I'm getting Tyreek Hill. London for Tyreek Hill is a risk, but that's like 1-for-1. Evans, CD Lamb. Go after CD Lamb. London and JK, London and Kraft, London and potentially Bigsby for CD Lamb. If you can't get that, how about you go get Nico and wait on him? How about you go give JK and potentially Bigsby for Nico? I like the squad a lot. Hubbard for Nico. Cooper Kupp. I'd love to get Cooper Kupp. London for Kupp. Throw in JK. CD Lamb. London and JK and Hubbard for CD Lamb. 3 and 2, Josh Allen, Achane, Mason, DJ Moore, St. Brown, Tolbert, Chase Brown. Guy wants Achane and DJ Moore for his Moss and Tyreek. Achane and DJ Moore for Moss and Tyreek. I'd rather have Achane and DJ Moore. Because Moss is a great player to go get, bro. But I think I'm trading Mason for Tyreek and maybe even something. DJ Moore and Chase Brown for Tyreek is what I want to do with this owner. Not that trade. Put some respect on Flowers and Higgins. Put some respect on Flowers and Higgins, says Joel. Higgins is good right now, but I still trade him high. Sorry. I have ETN as well. Forgot to mention that. Marcus, that's good. ETN I'd hold on to and save. You know, Bigsby and ETN's pretty good together. But ETN is not somebody I just drop or anything. I'm telling you, there's some hidden value. It may never get realized or used, but it might jump back like a roaring freaking tiger. Monty and Worthy for Josh Allen, Kincaid, and Bucky. Drop Coleman. Fields is your only QB. Yeah, you got to make a move with Fields being your starter because you never know. I would definitely trade Monty and Worthy for Josh Allen and Kincaid and Bucky. Drop Coleman. Sure. Absolute home run of a trade. That's absolutely a great move, bro. Unbelievable trade. This one from Man 9, 12-man 4-1, Lamar, Monty, Connor, ETN, JJ Cup, Davante. Just traded Mooney and Coleman for Reed. I like that. I think that's a great move. I think your team's very solid. I'm always looking to trade like Reed and Connor for an upgraded, catch someone sleeping on Breece Hall or Lamb or something like that. Nice squad, my broski. Excellent job. Nice trade. Logan with a super chat. Appreciate you, Logan. And Worthy and Mason for Tyreek. I think it's too much because I think Mason alone for Tyreek is pretty fair. I think Worthy's too much to add in. So, but I like where your head's at. You're trying to get rid of Mason at the right price, but I think adding in Worthy changes the value. 10-man PPR. Baker, Mahomes, Mason, CMC. I'd take Hill for Mason straight up, by the way. Okay, trade my Connor for Breece and Goddard. Bro, I'd trade Connor for Breece alone. I think when you add Goddard, you're running the risk of it getting rejected. If he's offering this, you should have already done it. You should have got Breece Hall and Goddard for Connor alone. Absolute smash. And then you're just waiting, unless you're trading, let's say, Mason and Wandell or Mason and Downs to just, go get a slight, lateral trade that's safer. But yeah, absolutely. Hear me out. Whenever someone says hear me out, they're trying to justify a bad move or a reason why they're taking a bath on something. This is a I'm sorry to myself line. No offense, Raymond. Hear me out. I'm just the messenger. Don't kill me. You all will regret disrespecting Lad McConkey, top 20 wide receiver. Mock now, apologize later. Or hear me out when they say something crazy. I'm not saying he can't be, but that's not my stance. That's not what I'm coming to tell people. I just wanted to tell everyone, alert, Lad McConkey's the guy. raw talent on a team that who knows what in the hell they're going to do from week to week. I like him. He's not bad. We like Ladd as a pre-draft, combine prospect. But, I mean, that's not the statement I'm coming in to swing on, I think. Who knows? Even if he's like top 25-ish, like, okay. Like, doesn't really surprise me, but I'm not going to bank on it. Like, even if it's right, I don't think anybody's going to care. Evan, if you said top 10, that'd be different. Evans, you want to resend your super chat and call him a top 10. Then we'll mock it, and then you'll have receipts, and you can come in. Evans and Hill for Barkley. That's a little too much. I like Barkley, bro, but woo! That is a lot. Evans and Hill for Barkley. And they're your wide receiver 1 and 2. That's a lot to give. Barkley is bye-week free, though. But that is a lot. Chat, isn't that a lot? We saying no to that one, right? That is a pretty penny. Rock Out, call in and discuss your situation real quick, Rock Out. Yeah, re-super chat your super chatting and give us a top 10 prediction. And then, yeah, I mean, this is how I feel with that prediction when someone says something like, it's crazy now, but it's not even going to impress me later. It's just not, it's not bold enough. Like, and it's also not likely, but still not bold enough for me to even take notice. Like, you could come back later and go, Ladd McConkey finished 24. Told you. And I'd be like, I don't know. Okay. Thomas, Evans, and Mason for BT and Hall. I would take BT and Hall, but that's close. But I'd take BT and Hall. Yeah. Collins, appreciate you with the $20 hauler. 12-man, 3-wide receiver league. Hurts, Hill, Debo, Worthy, Kamara, Jacobs. Just traded Debo and Keon for Kupp and J-Mo. Yes, I like that. That's a really, really good trade. Making the other moves. That's a good move. That's a really good move. I'm really kind of standing down. Hurts, Hill, Kupp, J-Mo, Jacobs. Maybe J-Mo and Jacobs for like a running back upgrade. J-Mo and Jacobs for Hall, Achane, Bijan, Gibbs, Taylor, maybe Kamara. Solid squad, bro. Solid squad. Unfiltered opinions. Okay. 2 and 3. 3 wide receivers and a flex. Daniel, Cook, Connor, Bigsby. Stay put, right? AJB Cup is fantastic. And if you could start one other wide receiver, so 3 wide receivers and a flex. So yeah, so BT. I'm trading J-Mo and Brooks, J-Mo and Bigsby, J-Mo and Connor, J-Mo, James. Maybe you keep James Cook. So Connor, Bigsby, Brooks, J-Mo. BT if I need to, and then start J-Mo. And I'm going running back shopping, specifically these 2 gentlemen. And then I go over to this direction and then this direction. Maybe this direction. But definitely, throwing everything at the wall in terms of those running backs with that package. Michael, appreciate your super chat. Trade my Henry Ford for Lamb, Moss, Tank Dell, or Waddle. Henry and Ford for Lamb, Moss, Tank Dell, or Waddle. I'd take Lamb and Tank Dell for Henry and Ford. 100%. Like, not even close. Ladd McConkey, is this it? Raymond's putting his receipt out there. He won't go top 10, but he's gonna up it a little bit. Ladd McConkey ranks top 15 end of season. Okay. If he's a top 15 wide receiver at the end of the year, we'll give you your props. I don't know that we're going to be begging for forgiveness at top 15, but I think that's bold. So we'll acknowledge it. Trade my J-Mo for Tank Dell. I think it's pretty even. Pretty damn even. I think Tank Dell didn't sniff J-Mo's value the day before last. Now all of a sudden, God, Raymond, you got some the capital letters. Just like, does anybody else picture Raymond just going as he's typing at his keyboard. He's trying to make a bold statement. He's then responding in all capitals. He's probably holding his breath while he types. Ma's yelling at him about the meatloaf being done and ready. And he's here, completely trying to get his moment to shine. Raymond, you won't be anywhere to be found if this doesn't go through. You won't come back and type in caps anymore. Mocked now. If Ladd no one's mocking you, first of all, but if Ladd finishes top 15 end of season, then I get to laugh at you all. You will get your moment, Raymond. We're all going to be our tail's going to be between our legs. We will be beside ourselves. Opinions on Tank Bigsby and Tyrone Tracy. I think they're really good flex plays. I think we could get a little bit ahead of ourselves if we start counting on Bigsby to not have any sort of like Bucky Irving moment where it feels like the transfers happen and then it doesn't. That's definitely in the cards. ETN, his own head coach said ETN's not losing his job after week 5. So it's confusing. I think I still love Bigsby. I still love ETN. I kind of want to acquire all the ETN I can get just in case this thing goes back in that direction. Debo, JSN for Laporta, McLaurin. I would take Laporta and McLaurin pretty easily, I think. It's kind of closer than that, I guess. Smitty missed my last super chat. Thanks, says KV. I'll go look. It's weird if I did. Thank you for your super chat and reminder. So I already did this one. Stay put, right? I got that one out of the way. Appreciate your super chat. This one's from C. Appreciate you. 4-1-12 team. Lamar Fields, Jonathan Taylor, ETN, Braylon Allen, Sermon, Neighbors, Flowers, Olave. Lamar, JT, ETN. It's tough. It's a tough team. I'll be honest with you. I mean, you need Olave to step up. You need Flowers to be consistent. Flowers and ETN's not going to get you anything via trade. You can't really trade much of this at all, bro. You're almost stuck. I hate to not give you a trade direction to go in, but you need Olave to bounce back. You need Flowers to be consistent. You need Neighbors to play. I don't think anybody's overpaying for Neighbors right now, so why sell him? And JT's been banged up. Lamar, you could maybe sell Lamar off for a Mahomes and a upgrade. I would contemplate that. That's me. I'm crazy, but whatever. Give me a Flowers into a high-end wide. Give me a Tyreek Hill. Give me Mahomes and Tyreek Hill. Give me something like that for my Lamar and Flowers. Past that, it's really hard to come up with a trade because you really have to go in that direction and really that direction alone. Trade my Bigsby for J-Mo. If you need a wide receiver, I'm okay with J-Mo. You need a running back, I'm okay with Bigsby. That means it's even Steven. And Adam, Mahomes, Fields, AJB, JSN, K9, Kyron, Bigsby, Hubbard, Lost, Rashee Rice. Do you like my chances? I think it's got some upside. Your team with AJB, with K9, and Kyron, it's good. Are you missing something? Yeah. Tyreek Hill puts it over the top. You trade Hubbard and let's call it, Hubbard, and I don't know that JSN's going to get it done. Maybe you're shopping for an MHJ. Hubbard and JSN for MHJ. Bigsby and JSN for MHJ. Try and go after something like that. Of course, try for Tyreek Hill. Kyron, you got Bigsby. You could risk the biscuit and trade K9 for Hill and hope for a big swing. I think you do need something small in order to make that team pop just a little bit. Drop Bucky or Wicks. I'm dropping probably Wicks of those two, but I still think Wicks has value. Let's see. Should I drop McConkey for Christian Watson if he's on waivers? No, I'd rather have McConkey, despite what's his face is thinking I hate McConkey. I'd rather have McConkey in that situation. He would lose his shit. He's typing in all caps right now saying, you drop McConkey for Watson, you're going to pay. Braylon Allen. I don't want Watson. I'm not worried about Watson right now. Or should I drop running back like Braylon Allen? No, I'm not dropping Braylon Allen. I have Saquon, Chase. Okay. Keep both Ladd and Watson. I would drop Watson for Braylon Allen if that's what you're asking, or Bigsby, of course, or someone like that. But, McConkey's probably good enough to hold, and he's got decent trade value. He's solid. He's solid. He's not top 15 like what's his face said. I don't even remember who it is. Trade for reference: AR5, Pacheco, Mostert, Brooks, Spears, Braylon Allen, 1 and 4 BT Brooks. BT Brooks over Connor Lazard Bigsby. Yeah, BT Brooks, I would say over that. That's still how I stand on that. Tyreek Hill, BT. You got good wide receivers. It's just a matter of, like, how do you get into a running back? You need running backs bad, bro. Very bad. I'm probably looking to shop Kraft and BT for a RB if possible. Like, you need to do something at that RB, unless you're not posting your entire RB room or something, Sherman. But that is a tough sledding there. Ladd and ETN for Montgomery. I would take Montgomery. Yeah. What's his face wouldn't, but that's okay. Benji says Barkley for Hill and Wandell. No, bro. Barkley's like the number 1, number 2, number 3 overall pick. No, what's Wandell doing to make that close trade? Cook traded DK, Cook, James Cook, and Kraft for Lamb, ETN. DK, James Cook, and Kraft. That's a lot. DK and James Cook is pretty good. I'd almost say you need ETN to bounce back. If he does, you win the trade. If he doesn't, you lose the trade. It's as simple as that. Bench is Brooks. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I would say Dak, Henry, Bijan, Godwin, bench Brooks. I'm maybe trying to trade Brooks and Godwin for a Tyreek Hill or wide receiver upgrade, my guy. But then I like your team a whole lot. KJV, appreciate you saying to check your super chat. KJV, Cousins and Fields, I have Hurts. I did answer this. You know, it's funny when people take a potty break, and I 100% answer this. And instead of saying, Smitty, I may have not heard your super chat, they say, Smitty missed my super chat. I didn't miss your super chat. I don't know what makes you think I missed it. You know you took a potty break. You know you did, KJV, because I answered this one. Cousins or Fields, you have Hurts. I said Cousins. I'm almost positive. If I'm wrong, I'll take a lap, but I'm almost positive I answered that one. I don't mind answering it again, but I'm just correcting the record. But I appreciate your super chat and your super chat either way. But it is funny how people say I miss it when they really should be saying I stepped out, which I understand. It's a long wait, so that I get. Mahomes and Swift for Burrow and Olave. I'd take Burrow and Olave by a little bit, just a little bit. But it's close enough to argue for sure, despite what the Mahomes haters think. Dak, Kenneth Walker, Bijan, CD, Wicks, McBride, JSN, Tracy, Whittington, Schuster, Tolbert. Any ideas to upgrade? I will probably say there's not a lot of sell high opportunity here at all on your team. I don't mean to be offensive, but there isn't. The only thing you could do is maybe sell CD Lamb. But the problem is we're buying Lamb low because he had a bad week. So unless you're getting like an MHJ and a James Cook, or an Achane and a MHJ, or a Tyreek Hill and a James Cook, or a Jacobs and a Tyreek Hill or something, you can't sell CD Lamb, and that's your only piece. So go explore it, see if you can get a trade done. Past that, I don't know that there's a move for you this week anyway. MHJ and Pacheco for Gibbs and Adunze. I take Gibbs and Adunze personally. I think Adunze is going to have some really good value down the stretch. I really do. I don't know that it's going to be elite, but it'll be good. So I would definitely go ahead and smash that and just take advantage of the Gibbs side of that, which I think is more steady. Appreciate all of you super chatting monsters. All of you monsters out there. And what's his name? JV. I'm not mad at you, JV. I was just merely telling you I'm almost positive I answered that. It's okay. It's all good. I love you, pal. I'm just got Danny Dimes on waivers. You got Danny Dimes on waivers.
Mashed potatoes. Yeah, buddy.
Brees, Monty Evans, BT, Laporta, Aubrey, Rome, Hunt, Pittman owner dropped him, worth an ad. Not really, unless you can IR spot him. Not Pittman's okay. There's nothing about Pittman right now. He hasn't been playing well, and he's going on IR. So I don't know. Pittman's not that great, bro. But Danny Dimes.
Mashed potatoes.
What's up, Smitty? Any trades to make 2 and 3 QB? Hurts, Gibbs, James Conner, J.K. Dobbins. Trading Conner and J.K. together. Chuba, J.K. Chuba and Conner for 1 RB. Chase Brown and Conner. Chase Brown and Chuba. Chase Brown and J.K. for 1 player. I'm throwing in Maybe a Downs if I can. I'm trying to keep AJB, bye week free, big advantage. Debo, Worthy, love Worthy, Dell, love Dell. I'm trying to just slightly upgrade James Conner if I can using the combos of those players. And people are running back needy. They might have one RB, even though the Achan's on a bye, or Kamara had a bad week, or Mason could have an expiration date. Those are moves to make for you, my guy. Those would be really solid moves for you. Appreciate your super chat, by the way. Okay. This one here, traded Love from my bench for Godwin. Yeah, I'm okay with that. I'd much rather have MHJ or Tyreek Hill if you can flip it, but I'm fine with that. Godwin's a good player. JD5, 4-1. JD5, Kyron, Monty, Rico, Dowdle, Bigsby. I'm trying to trade Rico or Bigsby or Brooks potentially with Reed or Waddle. Better Waddle than Reed. I'd like to keep Reed. Puka's coming back. Trade Waddle and Rico for BT. I like that. Perfect. But I still would go after Tyreek Hill. I would still go after an HN, a Taylor, a Mason, a Kamara, obviously a Hall, a Gibbs, but you're not going to get those guys, but you get my point. But I'm certainly taking a stab. And even like a James Cook is a good buy low right now, using a Waddle and a Rico. Waddle and Rico could probably get you MHJ, could probably get you an HN. It really could. $20 hauler from Eddie, dropping it like it's hot. And then this got offered by Kyron and Davante Smith for AJB and James Cook. What do you think? Kyron and Davante Smith over AJB and James Cook. It's close, but I want Kyron and Smith, bro. Kyron's a top 2 overall pick if drafting today. So no way I'm trading Kyron. 12 team, 2 running back, 2 wide receivers. You hear the words coming out of my mouth. We're entering week 6. He's on a bye, but we're entering week 6, and Kyron would be drafted 1 or 2 or 3 overall.
Let him cook.
So scared of the punt return, Smitty. Just sent Nico and Brooks Ingram for T. Higgins, Bowers, and Javonte. I would go ahead and pull that trade offer down, I think. I don't know. Chat, what do you think? Is he making a mistake? I'm not trading Nico that cheap. Brooks is coming into his own. You're 1-4. I get it. I don't know. This team's tough. Chat, what are we doing there? Don't we pull that? Don't we pull that trade offer? I think that's selling Nico too low. Maybe you're trying to go try and get an MHJ. Trade Nico for MHJ or, Tyreek Hill, in a deal. Even if you're throwing like a Brooks in or something like that. I think this is not the right move, Eddie. I'm going to say stand down on that one. Let's see what the chat thinks. Trade Cousins for Caleb Williams? No. I have Fields too? No. I'd rather have Cousins. Look, Caleb's had a couple good matchups. He has a couple more. But I don't understand why people are back to glazing Caleb. Got Wicks, Dell, Wicks. Chase Brown need ideas. I mean, I don't know that you're going to get... You go after an MHJ, go after a Tyreek Hill, go after a James Cook, go after a Kamara, go after a Jordan Mason with combos of that. That's probably what I'd say. Maybe even a Jaden Reed, an AJ Brown off the bye week. Stand down. You can get more for Nico. Everybody's, I think, in agreement, bro. That's not a good trade. Don't do that Nico trade. And I appreciate your $20 hauler. Monty, Worthy, Coleman for Allen, Kincaid, Bucky. Accepted. Take a lap. Didn't you ask this already? We already went over this. Monty, Worthy, Coleman for Allen. I already told you that I want Allen and Kincaid and Bucky. And we talked about it. So take a lap for not, I guess, listening to my response, but take a victory lap for getting it done. Congrats, Jason. Smitty approved.
You've just been Smitty approved.
Hey chat, this is from Ryan, just in the chat. A regular question says, "Hey chat, should I trade Mooney for BT? If you like winning, go get BT." Ryan, why are we even questioning this, Ryan? What would make you think that BT's not worth this? I like Mooney. Not trying to throw shade on Mooney, bro, but what are we doing back there? Stroud making me nervous. Baker over Stroud rest of season. I'm going to say no, but I'm not going to sit here and pretend that matchups couldn't have me wavering, but I think this is going to be good for Stroud in a weird way. Like I said, when you break your right arm and you're right-handed and you're forced to use your left arm for 4 weeks, let's just call it 4 weeks instead of 8 weeks for the break, and then your arm's better, or it's a sprain or whatever, and you become very good with your left hand. Now all of a sudden you get your right hand back, you're still going to use it, you're still going to be amazing with it, but now you have the ability to have Nico back, or Tank Dell back in his stride. Smitty, I traded Mostert for Olave. I like Olave, bro. I definitely think you smashed that trade. Ryan with a blank super chat. Ryan, appreciate you. Jay with the super chat. Jay says Brees, go after Brees and Cup or Tyreek Mason with Gibbs. I'd take Brees and Cup over Gibbs in a heartbeat. And if I couldn't get that done, Tyreek and Mason for Gibbs, I would take as well. I love Gibbs, but come on. You know what I'm saying? Saw Mooney doing it in front flips after I dropped him. He's feeling it, says Ethan. I don't know what that means, Ethan. I'm not sure. Rock out if you need to call in real quick, pal. Appreciate all you dropping it like it's hot tonight. Alfredo, give up London Neighbors for Tyreek Hill and Kyren Williams. If you like winning, go get Kyren Williams and Tyreek Hill. That's a great combo, bro. I mean, I shouldn't play on that other side that much, but I think it's a good trade. It's a fantastic trade. Brees, he's been playing terrible, says John. Well, John, there's a shakeup in New York, and I think they're going to change that, okay? Is Rachaad White and Bigsby for Monty a good trade? Rachaad White and Bigsby. Yeah, I'd take Monty for safety, I suppose. All right, Rock out. Hit me with your dilemma. I didn't quite know what your last super chat meant.
Yeah, basically I'll be getting Chase, but I have to give up Evans and Walker, but my RB2 be questionable with Stevenson or Daddle.
Yeah. But like I said, can you get something else in return? Like maybe something he doesn't value, like an ETN or something like that, where he's contemplating dropping, Let
me go to his team, but...
Jay says, would you do any of those with... Jay, I don't have it in front of me anymore. Would you do any of those with Kyren, Jamar, or AJB? Jay, I don't know what you said. You got to put it in... Every super chat's got to be individual. I think it was Brees, Cup, and was it Tyreek and Mason? So Brees and Cup, like Brees and Cup for Kyren, or yeah, I'm still taking Brees and Cup for any combo of those. Tyreek and Mason, maybe I'd rather maybe, yeah, probably still do it, but it's a little harder to say yes. But go ahead, rock out.
Yeah, his running backs are pretty bad. The only good running back he got is Aaron Jones, which he's injured.
Yeah, but I mean, that's something. Can you get that added in?
Possibly, I can try.
I mean, yeah, you got to try and get something on this trade. I love the Chase side. I think that helps bring this team back, but you're giving up two players that have tremendous value. I want something here. I want Aaron. What else does he have? Aaron Jones. What else?
He got Diggs, Davante Adams.
Yeah, any of those, but I don't know if he throw those guys in. But if he would, I'd certainly take it. But it's got to be something you could throw in. Chad, am I right? Am I right, or would you guys rather have Jamar Chase? Again, it puts him a little bit in a bind. Your top running back would be, you said Dowdle, or your top running back is who?
Our top running back would be, I got JT and Sharman.
Okay. Sermon, JT and Sermon. So you got JT, Sermon, and then you'd have Dowdle as your next running back if you trade Walker. But I mean, you just get something, bro. Maybe you could even trade. Maybe you could trade Dowdle to get Diggs or something like that. I'm not saying that solves your RB situation. I'm trying to get the most value for you. You could go Aaron Jones for Dowdle, but there's a chance that even is in favor of Dowdle, though. It's hard to say.
Yeah, he's not really feeling it because he got their backups, and he's like, "Well, I need two."
Yeah, I hear you. But chat, what are we doing? Are we doing Jamar Chase? Jamar Chase, Evans side easy. Mike Evans side. Jamar Chase to the moon. I don't think he's answering the question though. Evans side. Guys, Evans or Jamar? Evans and Walker, or Jamar Chase. And this one right here from Steven, JSN Craft, Alec Pierce, 2 firsts for BT, Deontay, and Kelsey. I would rather have, 2 first rounders? I don't know. Steven, that seems like a lot. 2 first, I like BT a lot, but are we giving up Kraft, JSN, 2 first rounders for BT? That seems like a lot. Kelsey and Dynasty is like not valuable at all. It seems like a lot. I guess it depends on where the 2 first rounders are. I like BT a lot. I give up 1 first rounder for sure in that. But are we doing 2 first rounders? Let's get a vote on that, please. Vote on that. 2 first rounders, JSN for BT essentially. And then Kelsey, you get Kelsey and BT, but I don't know. I think that's way too much. But Breece Hall, Braylon Allen, Rico Dowdle, or CMC Jordan Mason, Chuba Brooks, Rico Dowdle, Braylon Allen, Breece Hall. So Breece Hall versus CMC Jordan Mason, Chuba Hubbard, Jonathan Brooks. I'd probably take the Jordan Mason with CMC side than the Breece Hall side. I like getting Breece Hall for Jordan Mason, but like you're adding in too much that makes me not want to do that trade. Thank you for the super chat. Stand down. No. BT is not worth 2 first rounders when JSN's included. I agree with the chat. Rock out. Anything else, bro?
Yeah, can I give you my wide receiver?
Yeah.
Yeah, before the trade, my wide receivers is Evans, Higgins, Wendell Robinson. I got J-Mo, and then Lad McConkey.
McConkey?
Yeah.
Lad, J-Mo, Evans. Okay. So you get rid of these two. You have J-Mo. You have Jamar Chase. You have only JT who's injured. Yeah, I mean, like you're probably not winning a championship that way. So you got to get something though. I think you just got to get something. Yeah. You got to get something. Chad, if he got Aaron Jones for his, you said he wouldn't do that. Aaron Jones and Dowdle, he wouldn't do that.
I haven't asked that one yet.
Okay, let me just throw that out here to the chat, see if they'll vote. If you did Aaron Jones, A. Jones, and you threw Dowdle in, would you guys then do this trade? I think I'd take the gamble on Aaron Jones, even though I worry about him getting hurt. I think I'd take the gamble on him. I think this makes this trade very doable for you. Whereas if you don't, I don't know. I don't trust Dowdle enough. I'm getting a Chase Aaron Jones vote now. So tell him, look, I'm giving you, let's just swap very even running backs. One of them is an old dinosaur that is like 85 years old. And I'm giving you the guy that's rising up into the lineup. You might even be getting the better running back. But I need something that feels a tiny bit more secure. Give me an RB. And I'll give you an RB and it's done.
What should I do with Higgins and Chase on the same team?
I mean, you just got to start him, but I'll be tempted to try and trade Higgins. You know, maybe you trade Higgins and Aaron Jones. Higgins and Aaron Jones for Achane. Higgins and Aaron Jones for Mason. You take a big gamble. Higgins and Aaron Jones for Kamara.
Bijan. I forgot I got Puka on my team too.
Puka, great, good. That makes me feel a little bit better about the squad. But yeah, buddy, that's what I do. All right, man. Appreciate you.
I'll see if we can do Aaron Jones.
All right. Hit us back when you got more information. But yeah, Aaron Jones, do it live. I like it.
All right, cool.
All right, later. Trade my Mason and Braylon Allen for Tyreek and Jacobs. Of course I would do that. I would do the Tyreek for Mason straight up. So you're telling me you're getting that extra piece, bro? That's an absolute smash and a half. I like that a lot, bro. That's fantastic. That is fantastic. Vikings 5-0. No need to rush Aaron Jones, says Jimmy. Well, they're on a bye, bro. So they're not going to rush him. He's going to get that rest and probably be back. But yeah, rock out if you're listening. Try and get Chandler somehow, if you did do that trade. But I think that guy if he's thinking he wants to do that, I would think that he would say yes to Aaron Jones and Dowdle swapping. There's advantages of that for him. And maybe I'm not judging Dowdle enough. Like, I'm not giving him enough credit. Maybe Rockout's better off just keeping it out. I don't know. 10-team full PPR, QB Cousins, Stroud, running back Achane, Kyren, Jacobs, Bigsby, wide receivers JJ, Terry, Mooney, Downs, Worthy, Kraft, Kincaid, Collins on IR. Any moves? I like the squad. The most I'm keeping Collins. The most I'm doing is trading one of the tight ends to a tight end needy team to upgrade Jacobs into one of the RBs on screen. Or I'm trying to upgrade, let's say, Jacobs and Mooney. Mooney's got good value. Jacobs and Terry for one of the running backs on screen. My boy. Tyreek Hill is also someone that I like going and getting. Maybe a Mooney and Bigsby, a Mooney and Jacobs for Tyreek Hill, for MHJ. Doing it live. Doing it live, my boy.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Very, very, very fast phone call sesh. 30 seconds and you're out of here. 30 seconds and I drop you like it's hot. JD5, Goff, Breeze, Cup, Puka, London. Thoughts on trading McLaurin and more for Nico? Should I wait until Puka gets back? I definitely wait on Puka, but I think it's irrelevant. So trading McLaurin for Nico, yeah. Would I give up like what though? I don't think Tracy. Tracy, Puka and McLaurin for Nico.
Motion detected at the front door.
Maybe. Go ahead. You're live, my guy. You're live, Coughlin. What's going on? Coughlin Clay.
I got two. Yeah. I got two trade options. Do I trade Debo for Jordan Mason and Pickens, or do I trade Debo and Kyren for Davante, Tyron Tracy, Jordan Mason, and Pickens?
Debo for Mason, Pickens. Okay.
And that's it. And then the other one is Debo and Kyren, and then I get Davante, Tyrone Tracy, Jordan Mason, and George Pickens.
No, that one's ridiculously bad. No, give Kyren Williams up.
Yeah. So just.
I don't know. Chat, what do you think on this one? I tend to say, I want Debo maybe over Mason from here on out. Of course, we've enjoyed Mason's company. He's been fantastic, and I'm not asking him to leave. It's not closing time. He can stay here.
Motion detected at the front door.
But I don't know that this is something that I'm... I don't think Pickens is a worry to me. He's a concern to me. I'd probably say Debo by a hair. I'm not getting rid of Mason. I love Mason. If I've got CMC, if I don't,
it's a I trade Debo for Mason and Pickens.
Yeah, then I'm probably not doing it.
Yeah,
I like Mason a lot. I like Mason a lot. I feel like we were the founders of the Jordan Mason, the Masonites. And I don't want anybody to think I'm jumping off the train, but I'm not running into the fire. And I think the panic on Debo right now is weird.
No, it is. Just I got offered the trade But Debo's like won me a fantasy league before. I've been always high on him, but it's just like I have Lazard and Keon Coleman at flex right now.
I'm going after
So it's
Mason
like-
in a buy low, but this is not a buy low. I'm going to say stand down on this one, bro. All right, later. Appreciate you.
For sure.
Trooper Dave, you got 30.
Hey, what's going on, man? I was offered Jaden Daniels and Marvin Harrison Jr. for Caleb Williams and Neighbors. What do you think?
Hey, who's your quarterback if you don't get Marvin Harrison and JD?
My other quarterback is like Will Levis. It's trash.
Oh, God. So you'd be giving up, say it again, JD5 and MHJ.
Yep, I'd be getting those two for Neighbors and Caleb Williams.
Give me JD5 and MHJ.
All right, cool.
I think, chat, please vote on it, chat. I think some people like Caleb enough, and his schedule is nice, but to say, oh, I wait on that. But you got maybe Neighbors out another week. I don't know if news is even breaking as I'm live on this topic, but I'll have to refresh X. I keep looking at it, but Neighbors is maybe going to miss another week. It seems like it anyway right now. I'd rather, MHJ is still a monster, bro. JD5 to the moon. Go get JD5. That's
Right.
me.
Yeah, I'm in the middle. I'm in that like middle pit at 3-2, where a bunch of teams are like really close with record and points. So I'm trying to stay ahead, and I don't think Neighbors is going to come back this week. So I thought it was a smart move.
Yeah, JD5 MHJ all day. All right, later, bro. All right,
bye.
Steven, you're live. 30 seconds, Steven.
Hey, Smitty, how you doing?
I'm good.
I just want to ask you a quick question. Who are you starting this week out of these three? Irvin, White, or Chase Brown?
Who's the first one?
Irvin. Bucky Irvin.
Oh, Bucky Irving, Rashad White, or Chase Brown. Give me Chase Brown.
All right, thank you.
All right, later, bro. Appreciate you. All right, last phone call. Rock out. What can I do for you? You're live.
Yeah, would you want to keep that group if I could get Josh Allen?
You get Josh Allen in the trade?
No, different trade.
I mean, it depends on the trade. What's the trade?
Proposing my quarterback Purdy and Stevenson and probably Ladd for Allen.
I don't think he'll do that, but if he does that, you could still do this trade for Allen, which would be a lambasting, a vetoable offense if you have vetoes, which I hate. Give me Allen all day long. But then I still do that other trade. Like you'd have Allen, you'd have Jamar Chase, you'd have JT, you'd have Puka coming back, right? I mean that's still a core, bro. I like it. All right, man. Appreciate your rock out. All right, phone calls are closed. Sorry, Tony, you tried to call after the line closed. We're done with phone calls right now. We've got a few super chats to get to, and then we're out of here. We got a $20 hauler from MCF. PPR guy wants my Achane and Godwin for Hill and Aaron Jones. I'd rather have Achane and Godwin, but I still flip Godwin if I can. Another guy wants my Garrett Wilson and JSN for AJB. I would take AJB. He's bye-week free. Should I do either? I would do the AJB trade. Looking at your team, I still potentially get rid of Godwin if possible in some sort of deal like Godwin and maybe a Chase Brown for one of these fancy fine fellows right here. Appreciate you, MCF. Very good second trade. The AJB trade's phenomenal, bro. Bye-week free is huge. Huge advantage. Who do you like better, BT or Flowers? BT by a lot. It's not even close. Need two. Dobbs, McLeod, Keenan Allen, Bigsby, DeMario Douglas, Jennings. I'm going to go Keenan Allen and Bigsby, assuming Keenan Allen's healthy and everything, so you have to stay on that all week. And Mason and Deontay for Breece Hall. Breece Hall by 10,000 miles. Wicks or Juju? Give me Wicks long term, I think, but it's close. I think everyone's jumping off the Wicks train just because he dropped a bad game, but he had 3 TDs in 3 games. BTJ, Amon Ra, Terry Worthy, London Shaheed, Ford, Mixon, Bucky, drop Shaheed for Tracy. Yeah, I if you need a RB, I understand that move. Would I maybe drop Ford though instead of Shaheed with Chubb coming back and all that? Probably. I think Shaheed still got value. I maybe go that direction. Not to mention, Ford's not getting all the work anyway right now. JD5, Goff, Brees, Achane, Puka, London, McLaurin, Juju, Ray. Thoughts on trading McLaurin and more for Nico? Absolutely. Oh, I already answered this one, but yeah, you get my drift, bro. I just to answer it again, I'm definitely interested. Like, would I want to give up Puka though and McLaurin? Probably would do it if there's like a 2 for 2 and you get somebody else. But I don't know if I'd send Puka and McLaurin for Nico. But I'd be tempted because Nico, when he gets back, is a top 5 wide receiver. So very, very close. And this one from Rick. Rick, appreciate your super chat. 5-0, Fields, AR5, Gibbs, Bijan, Achane, Neighbors, London, Cup. No luck with Mahomes, Hurts, Allen owners. Okay, let it ride. Can I win it all with this team? I would say, Fields is risky, bro, because he could get the job pulled from him at any moment. Who knows if AR5 is back in the lineup or stays in the lineup. They certainly want to use him. Gibbs, Bijan, Achane, fantastic. Neighbors, London, Cup, fantastic. I guess I'm just trying to maybe use like a Jacoby Myers or a Kraft if you have to, or a potential, I don't even know, like something like that. Or you're just getting on the waiver wire and you're grabbing any quarterback that can help you. Cousins was on waivers in a lot of leagues. Aaron Jones might be out, or Aaron Rodgers might be out there. So I think your team, if your QB stays stable, you could definitely win it with that team. But if you have no QB, you're going to be concerned. Follow up, who should I suggest targeting for Godwin and Jamar Chase? Or no, Chase Brown. Godwin and Chase Brown. Godwin and Chase Brown for Hill, for MHJ, for Hill, MHJ, Nico and something, but Nico's tempting. Tyreek Hill, Evans, Neighbors injured. You're not gonna get CeeDee Lamb. These boys right here, Godwin and Chase Brown for any one of these guys. You're not gonna get Hall. You're not gonna get Gibbs, but you could try for the rest. You could always try for all of them. But what moves to make 3-2? Josh Allen, Brooks, Swift, Moss, Braylon, Bigsby, Puka, Tyreek, Neighbors, Adams, Kirk. Probably say I'm trying to trade Swift or Brooks with maybe a Adams. So Adams and Brooks, Adams and Swift for these guys. For Hill, for DK, for Evans, for Debo, Swift and Adams for Debo. Sure. For Cooper Kupp. Kupp is easy to get right now. Easier than he should be because he's on a bye. And people are still kind of like, is he healthy? Is he gonna people? Some people don't know. Dell for Adams and Tracy, I'd take Dell. Personally. Kyron or Amon-Ra St. Brown. Come on, Kyron's number 1, number 2, or number 3 overall slate if we're drafting over right now. That's wild to me that people are still doubting Kyron Williams. I don't understand it. Kyron by a mile. With Adams' trade to the Jets cooling off, I wouldn't say it's cooling off, but it definitely feels like the momentum stopped, but it still could happen. Am I holding on trading Garrett Wilson? I still would shop Garrett Wilson. It does feel like Adams to the Jets is probably more likely than not, but did it turn from like a 80% chance to like a 65 or even 55? Maybe. But Garrett Wilson's also still struggling to get his work, even if Adams is not there. And I think off of the big week, it makes me want to go get MHJ, go get Tyreek Hill, go get Achane, go get Bijan, go get Taylor injured, go get maybe Kamara off a bad game for Garrett Wilson. So it depends on the asking price. DK Metcalf, sure, straight up I do it. Jaden Reed, it becomes a little more complicated than that, but I'd probably take Jaden Reed by a hair. But those are the players I'm still moving Garrett Wilson for. Garrett Wilson for Reed is closer, though. That's a tougher call. But definitely those other options that I mentioned. Just because he's already struggling. You know, maybe they got him on track. I don't know. I hate to tell you to trade him and he goes crazy because he's capable of it. But I think all those moves that we suggested right there are all very Like, you could still do well in that trade, even if Garrett Wilson plays like a top 9 wide receiver going forward and you're plenty happy with, or you would have been. The players you're acquiring are buy lows, and I think in the worst of scenarios, Garrett Wilson continues to play well and I'm wrong, or we're wrong on that call, but you're still right or even. You break even because the player you got still playing as well. You know, you want to make a trade. You always want to make a trade that you say if you're wrong on the player you're sending away. They play, you're too scared about them staying good and they stay good. You want to do a trade that you still break even when you're wrong. That's how you got to look at it. It's hard to do, but that's why you send 20 offers to get 1 acceptance. It's not like you can send 2 offers and expect to get a trade accepted. You need to send like every 20 good offers that are good in your favor, you're going to get 19 of them rejected. Or you're not sending out enough offers or good offers. All right. Anyway, appreciate you. Why did I take Musgrave? Why did Mr. TD, you're saying, why did you take Musgrave over Kraft? You should have took both of them. The majority of the offseason, the combo was cuffed together. It was take like your Goddard or your McBride or your Kincaid or whatever, and then grab Musgrave and Kraft together and cuff them. That was the move, Mr. TD. And it's paying dividends. Because it's the situation, really. Even though Musgrave was the better candidate because Kraft was double injured in the offseason, now Musgrave can't stay healthy. Now Kraft is back out there doing work. And Kraft looks great. Stan Pat, 10 team 2-3. Love, Mason, Walker, Connor, Bigsby, Reed, Hill, Tank, Worthy, Puka. Good team. I think it comes together. Yeah, the only thing I'm even contemplating is getting rid of Mason for... maybe Mason for a Breece in some sort of, you throw Reed in, you throw, Puka in or Worthy in, or you're holding that and you're potentially trying to trade like Connor or Bigsby or both with Reed to maybe just get that potential player. And Nabers injured, or I doubt you get a St. Brown, but you could try. Nico would be interesting for your team. If you were to maybe trade like, let's say a Connor or a Bigsby with maybe, I don't know, a Bucky or whatever. I don't know if I'd trade even Reed straight up for Nico though, because Nico's tough. But Cup, I'd take Cup and a deal similar to that. That'd be fantastic. Thank you for your super chat, my guy. Appreciate you. Garrett Wilson for Achane straight up. I'd rather have Achane. I'd take the gamble on it. $20 hauler from Mav. Mav, appreciate you. Couple trades, switches to inquire about. Stroud for Love or Prescott. I'd rather have probably Love, then Stroud, then Prescott in that order. But I'm not running from Stroud, but Love's pretty solid. Garrett Wilson for McLaurin or Cup. I'd take Cup in a heartbeat. And then I probably rank McLaurin and Garrett Wilson pretty damn close. So I don't know that I love just going that direction. I'd rather just get Cup. And Kincaid or Laporta for Kraft. I'd rather have Laporta over Kincaid. And I'd rather have Kraft and Kincaid about even right now. It is what it is. But I like Laporta above both of them by quite a bit. I think Laporta is getting a bad rap. And I definitely am buying Laporta. And I might have a buy Laporta video because I'm seeing so much of, like, do I cut Laporta? And I'm like, what? And do I get rid of Laporta for a tight end 7 that's playing well? Like, Laporta's still the most capable tight end 1, I would say, right now in fantasy, in my opinion. Chris with a $20 hauler. Smitty, SOS, PPR. Maybe I'm overreacting. 2 and 3. I got Kyron, Achane, ETN, Singletary, Bigsby. I like that you got ETN and Bigsby wrapped up. I like that you got Amon-Ra and Devontae Smith bye week free. Both of them are bye week free. So you gotta understand the reason you've lost a lot, bro, is you've had bye weeks, and you have another bye week here with Kyron and Achane. Once you're through this, you've got Kyron and Achane bye week free, Mahomes bye week free. You've got Devontae Smith and Amon-Ra already bye week free. It's smooth sailing for you. I think you need to be extra careful, Chris, to hold and stand down versus trade the enduring a bye week situation and disaster that you've been enduring, trading that away for the now and then having double bye weeks because you ended up trading it away. Your team specifically is too hard to trade at this point until the bye weeks happen for everybody. I'm going to stand down because you're going to get yourself into a big mess, Chris, if you start trading those bye week players and going and getting players that haven't had their bye week. Moves. I feel like I should move one of these tight ends. Hurts, AJB, Debo, Achane, Jacobs, Pickens. You got Kincaid and Kraft, definitely. Kincaid or Kraft, obviously depends on who those owners have, but Jacobs, upgrade them into one of these RBs potentially. Maybe you're upgrading a Pickens or Jacobs and Pickens together with a Kraft to go get a monster wide receiver. Would I go get Nico Collins using Kraft or Kincaid, even if I'm throwing in a Chase Brown or a Pickens? Might be the move to make. Cooper Kupp, do the same thing. Did you have Puka Nacua? I'd trade one of them for Puka Nacua. My guy. Do it live. Appreciate you. Chris from Vegas. Trey, Tucker, Bucky for Adams and Tracy. I would take Adams and Tracy on the upside for sure. 5-0 with 5 first rounders. Need a wide receiver. DK in a second or 2 late first. DK in a second or 2 late first. I'd rather have probably... I don't know. That's hard to say, bro, because, I mean, if they're 2 late first rounders and you're for sure on that, I'd probably rather have DK, but that's if I can win now. You know what I mean? If you can't win now, then it might be something you regret later on down the road. But I'm also an advocate of, like, leagues fold in 2, 3, 4 years a lot of the time. You might say your league won't, but you never know. So I'm kind of taking the now approach more. Bijan for Connor and Wicks. I'd rather have Bijan by a lot. So no. Got to make a receiver move. I'd maybe trade like Connor and Pittman's going to be on IR, by the way. Connor and Downs, Connor and Pollard. I don't know. This is a tough one, bro. Chuba and Connor for like one better RB. Connor, yeah. Chuba and Walker, you could bank on that, but then like, what do you do when Chuba loses some of his work? I don't know that you can go after... I don't think if I'm trading like Walker or Bijan for a running back, you know, and you could get like a Mason or a Kamara or an Achane or a James Cook and then get a wide receiver, I'd be open-minded to that. But honestly, if I'm going to trade, let's say Bijan or Walker, I'd go to Tyreek Hill owner. I'd take Tyreek Hill. What running back can you throw in? Like Bigsby and ETN or something like that. I don't know. That's the only thing I would do there, bro, to be honest with you. Any moves to 85 Mahomes? If it's a 1 QB, you're trading one of these quarterbacks. Probably have to trade J85 if you need to make a move. Let's see if you need to, though. Achane, B-Rob, Mason, Dowdle, BT, Higgins, Amon-Ra. I don't think you need to. This is a good team. Would I be tempted to trade away Deontay and Higgins and B-Rob for like one of these RBs or a Tyreek Hill or a... obviously a CD Lamb? Yeah. Would I want to go get Collins using Deontay and Dowdle? Yes. B-Rob and Deontay for Nico? Yes. Cooper Kupp? Yes. Puka Nacua for Dowdle? Deontay for Puka? Yes. Deontay for Puka for Dowdle and Deontay? Maybe. Throw in Higgins to get Kupp instead? Yes. I traded Chase Brown and Laporta for Breece Hall, Mark Andrews. Win or lose. Chase Brown and Laporta for Breece Hall, Mark Andrews. I take Breece Hall, Mark Andrews, but pretty darn close, bro. Pretty darn close. Chase Brown in London for Lamb. Lamb by a mile, bro. Easy. Easy call. Simple. Debo and Worthy for Puka, and you have Debo and Worthy for Puka, have London and DK and G. Why would you trade Debo and Worthy for Puka Nacua, who's injured right now, not back? I wouldn't trade Debo straight up for him. I probably wouldn't trade Worthy straight up for Puka. And you give up both of them? Hell no, bro. Absolutely not. Smitty disapproved. Traded Wilson. We're saving lives here tonight. Traded Wilson and Juju for JJ. Smitty approved? Absolutely Smitty approved. That other one has just got me in a tizzy. Where was I? There we okay. Standard start Ayuk or Dell this week. Probably Ayuk for safety, but I want both of them in your lineup. I'm not going to tell you to sit Dell. But yeah, I don't think Ayuk, you know, after a big game, I think he's back in tune. But I love Dell. I want both of them. I'm not telling you to sit Dell. I'm not telling you to sit Dell. But Ayuk had a monster game, bro. 140, 150 plus. I mean, yeah. Everybody, I appreciate you. Gifted memberships. No gifted memberships today, but we got celebratory message here. Dowdle for Worthy and Singletary. I'd take Worthy. We got Silver Rapture. Says, what's up, big dog? AOC target. D Adams 21 times. Week 17, says Silver. Silver, appreciate you. And got a trade offer. I received Burrow and Olave for Swift and Mahomes. I would rather have Burrow and Olave. I think I already answered that one. I think you asked it in a super chat as well. You know, it's arguable. I barely lean that direction. I just feel very good about Rattler's comments about Olave, and I guess I'm overly hopeful, but I don't know. Don't know if it's going to fully play out the way we want it. I'll see you all later. Appreciate every single one of you. Live Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, every single Monday through Friday. Additionally, I'm live whenever big news breaks. So guess what? Even though I'm probably not coming back tonight to draft, I mean, we could. Underdog, promo code Smitty. Get up to $1,000, 50% match on your first deposit, all the way up to $1,000. Smash this link right here. Do it live. And play Underdog for week number 6 and draft a week 6 team right now. Start over if you lost skin in the game. Appreciate you all. See you all later. Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. If you guys drop any super chats while I'm out the door, you got to post them in the comments. Don't tell me I missed it. You're posting it late. But tell me, here's what my question was. 3-2, any trade ideas? Looking at the squad, bro, I'm going to say try and maneuver around, let's say, MHJ, Davante Smith. I love Davante Smith being bye week free. Stroud, I'm not freaking out on. I like Reed. I like Ayuk. I like Dell. Very good team. Maybe J-Mo and you got Kyron and Achan's great. Maybe J-Mo and B-Rob for one of them running backs we've been talking about all day long, bro. Whether it's Brees or Achan or Kamara. You got Achan here. Kamara. I'm liking Tyreek Hill using J-Mo and B-Rob, honestly. But that's me. I'm wild. I'm crazy. Navage says Mason and Higgins for JJ too much. No, I would take JJ in that regard. But hey, that's pretty close to rock outs, and we said be careful doing 2-for-1 for Chase. Maybe rock out needs to smash that. And debating giving Rashad White and Shaheed Jordan Addison for Tyreek Hill. I would take Tyreek Hill in a heartbeat, bro. In a heartbeat. $10 hauler. Traded A.J. Brown for Bijan. Now I have Bijan, Kenneth Walker screwed this week, but wide receivers, I am 4-1, and I have Tyreek, Cup, BT, Shaheed. Worth the long run. Yeah, I think your team's going to be very good, bro. Tyreek, Cup, and BT is fantastic. Walker, Bijan, I'd maybe like try and explore trading Walker with Shaheed or something like that, or BT to get like a Brees Hall potentially, but that's it. I like Bijan a lot. I think, you know, AJ Brown for Bijan is not the best trade, I guess you could say. Like AJ Brown's bye week free. So at the end of the day, I probably would have rather had AJ Brown. I'm not going to lie, but just because of that bye week. But I think because you're 4-1, it doesn't matter too much for you. So I think you're good. Bijan should bounce back, bro. I love Bijan. All right, last super chat. Any other super chat that gets dropped, I gotta answer it in the comments. Follow up on the 16-team trade didn't show up, I guess, says Rick. Hold on a second. Hold on. James, let me put yours on here. Rick is saying his follow-up didn't show up. I don't know, Rick. Let me see. No luck with Mahomes. Rick, I did read this, Rick. On this one, I said that I like this team a lot, Rick, and that I would roll with this for sure. You got to try and stick to the waiver wire. Make sure you're checking for QBs. I don't think I trade anything. I like what you got here. It's a fantastic squad. But you got to stay on top of the QB market and make sure you're getting, because you could lose Fields like that. Make sure Russell's not out there. You can cuff it. Yeah, I definitely answered this one. I'd say 90% of the time, it's Smitty. You missed it. I can't believe it. I'm screwed now. You didn't get to my super chat. Here it is. I went through it. Rick, I'd probably say Gibbs for JD5. In a 1 QB, that's too much, bro. You got to get more. You got to get something else, Rick. It's too much. I like where you're headed here, but you cannot trade Gibbs for JD5. That's way too much. And there's not another super chat, Rick. It didn't go through if you sent one. Jay Smart. I sent a $5 super chat. You didn't respond. Let's see. Got offered Kyron and Davante Smith for AJ Brown and Cook. What do you think? I'm pretty sure I responded to this one, but I take Kyron and Davante. I did. I take Kyron and Davante Smith, bro. Davante Smith is bye-week free. AJ Brown's bye-week free. Kyron is just the top 2 overall player for drafting today. I absolutely answered that one, but I appreciate you anyway. And your first super chat, I did get to that 10-man league. In any moves to make, I think I said with your team that Lamb, Smith, Achane, Kyron, love the team. I don't want to touch any of that. The only thing I'd contemplate is maybe using like an Addison. And, Addison's not going to get you anything, though. I like your team. You're 3-2. I don't want to trade any of those pieces. I think what I said was that if I traded one of them, then I would just be creating a bigger hole. So I'm not making a trade. But I did answer that. All right, gifted memberships from Phil. Phil dropping some gifted memberships. Appreciate you. Jay Smart, BT, Ridley, and Kraft for Monty and Bowers. I'd rather have Monty and Bowers over BT and Kraft, but it's close. If I needed a receiver, I guess I could lean the BT side, actually. And if I needed an RB, I'd lean the Monty side. So I lost Pacheco to IR, and I'm starting Akers. So you kind of need Monty. So I'm okay leaning Monty on this side. Plus, bro, Bowers is phenomenal. So I'm okay with that. James with a $20 hauler. James, appreciate you dropping the 20 watt on screen, my boy. All right, this is the last one here. And then if anybody drops another super chat, you got to re-ask it in the comments. It's easier, too, if you do a super thanks in the comments. It'll let you do a super thanks question as well. Need your advice, Smitty. 12-team PPR. Have Amon-Ra, St. Brown, Chase, Devontae Smith, Waddle, Dell, Wandell Walker, Achane, Hunt. Take Saquon for my Chase or Henry in my Devontae Smith and Hunt. Take Saquon for my Chase. I suppose I would. I'd rather have Saquon bye week out of the way. Or Henry for Devontae Smith and Hunt. So you could have Henry and Chase instead by giving up Smith and Hunt. I think I'd rather have Hunt and Smith over Henry by a hair. I just fear breakdown, my guy. I just, he's scoring touchdowns, massive touchdown. You know what? Take Henry. Keep Jamar Chase. Go get Henry. Final answer. Jamar Chase is a monster, bro. Henry, bank on Henry for this last hurrah. There's risk involved. Know that. You know that. You know risk is involved. You know damn straight risk is involved. So you can't blame me if he gets injured. But why not ride it one more go? Okay, you're already through week 6. Let's just do it live. Offered AJ Brown for my MHJ and D Monty. I'd rather have MHJ and DeMonte. It's too much to throw that in there. And the final super chat, $20 hauler. Appreciate you, Chris. What's up, Smitty Superflex? You guys can drop one via super thanks in the comments. It does the same thing, and then I reply to it later. But what's up, Smitty Superflex 10-team PPR. I was offered Gibbs for my Kyler and Mason. Other QBs, Josh Allen. Smash. That's how you get rid of Mason. You overpay. You give somebody something that they can use that makes it a fantastic trade for them. But you get Jahmyr Gibbs. I would do this trade. It's a great deal for both of you. You're certainly overpaying, but your lineup improves. He's certainly getting enough to make the trade worth it to him. I smashed the hell out of that trade. I will see you all later. If you leave a super chat on the way out when I punch this button, you got to re-ask it in the comments, not in the live chat comments, in the comments of the video, and put a bunch of dollar signs so I know. Appreciate you all. Live Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. I also go live additionally whenever big news breaks. So if something breaks tonight, I'll be back to do a live stream. And don't forget to play Underdog. That link has been dropped in the live chat. I'll drop it again right now. Promo code Smitty. They'll match your first deposit up to 50%, all the way up to $1,000. Or if you do the $10 minimum, they'll give you $5. You deposit $100, they'll give you $50. You deposit $2,000, they'll give you the $1,000, all the way up to $1,000. Use code Smitty. Draft over again. Here's the link one more time. Draft for week 6. More, your season went to crap, then do a week 6 draft. Underdog Fantasy. Promo code Smitty. Appreciate every single one of you.
He's Kyron, he's 7 feet tall, and he knows how to handle a ball. He's Kyron, he can take frowns and turn them upside down with his touchdowns.
We got somebody that says I didn't answer the super chat. Joshua, let's see if that's true. Worthy plus likely for Olave. I don't know if I remember this one. I don't know how this one got skipped, if it did, but I'll answer it fresh and clean here. Worthy and likely for Olave. I'd rather have... Chat, can we vote on this one? Can we vote on this one, please? Please. Worthy and likely for Olave. Otten is his tight end, obviously. So drop likely or don't drop likely. Got Olave, Worthy, Olave. Roll the dice on Olave, but it's risky, says Travis. Worthy over likely. Worthy, drop likely. I won't drop likely. Coin flip. I'd rather have Worthy and likely. Olave. Olave's the higher upside play. There's certainly more risk. I think Worthy's pretty damn good. I think Worthy's going to continue to get work. My gut says Worthy will be better. The Worthy side will be better later, and the Olave side will seem better for a little while, maybe. Tough call, bro. I think it's pretty damn even. The chat is struggling with it, so trust your gut. I lean toward the Worthy side by a hair, but Olave might get fed, but there could also be turmoil, in that QB room, and so it might not be consistent. As much as we want Rattler to be the guy, it's hard to say. Thanks for going back. Sorry to be that guy. You aren't that guy if I missed it, but we do have a lot of that. Smitty, you missed it, and it's like 90% of the time I didn't. All right, appreciate you all. If I missed anybody's super chat like Joshua's, I almost missed Joshua's, just put it in the chat and put like dollar signs. Don't just say you missed my super chat. Tell me what the question is. Like restate it. You can chastise me all you want, but make sure you restate the question. I'll see you all later. Appreciate you. Phil gifted 5 memberships on the way out the door. Phil, you're a monster. If you got one from Phil, please thank him.